Yeah. We really boxing. Who wanted the baddest? Let's see. Oh, we boxing? Yeah, we boxing. I need that belt like it ain't no other option. So we punching and weaving and blocking. Defeat ain't an option. Let them know. Shoot a video, put it on BVO. Let them know. Every time I punch, it's a heavy blow. BVO, bound to hit like bricks cause it was set in stone. Let them know. I ain't getting body, but I'ma hit this flow. Yeah, way more than a show. This is BVO. This how it's finna go. I'ma throw some jabs. Make them think my punch is weaker than I hook his ass. This the ring, not the kitchen, but I'ma cook his ass. Me and him, that's the pro versus the rookie class. All my life I had to fight, but I still love it. Me and BVO got moves that you can't steal from us. And these haters be throwing shots, but I don't feel nothing. I ain't gonna lie, shit, they alright, but we a little rougher. Step up for the title and face your rival, this ain't no little tussle. Bet I be no bird, being chicken to get your feathers ruffled. Footwork, I'm dancing around my opponent like the Cupid shuffle. Good work, bodies hit the flow, they can't move a muscle. The upside is we ain't in the streets, shooting and shooting up. Catch me in the ring, sticking, moving and suited up. I know everybody can eat, but I ain't full enough. Oh, you said it's smoking some beef, I guess I'm pulling up. Oh, we boxing? Yeah, we boxing. I need that belt like it ain't no other option. So we punching and weaving and blocking. Defeat ain't an option. Let them know. Shoot a video, put it on BVO. Let them know. Every time I punch, it's a heavy blow. BVO, bound to hit like bricks cause it was set in stone. Let them know. I ain't getting body, but I'ma hit this flow. Yeah, way more than a show. This is BVO.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy BBO Boxing. It's your boy D Free, aka the Oscar hater. Also, it's the Puerto Rican Prince, Coach Juice. What's going on, man? How you
What's
doing?
good, fellas? How y'all doing today?
What's going on, man?
Hey, I heard you on your video today, man, talking about Devin Haney. I want to ask you a question, man.
Okay.
So what happens if Devin Haney knocks out Regis, man? Have you considered that at all?
No, well, if he does, listen, Regis is displaying a lot of nervous energy to me, a lot of friendly energy. And I will say Devin's the much bigger guy when seeing him face off. And don't forget, I did say Devin's only taking this fight because Regis looked terrible in his last fight. So, I mean, I'm not saying it's beyond reason for Devin to win the fight. The only thing I say about Devin that's kind of a slight but not is that he's not going to do good numbers because he's not. Floyd's fighting the same day. He got it's rumored that Danny Garcia and Islari Lando are on the undercard for the middleweight title, and then Keith Thurman and Stanionis are on the undercard on the same night. Devin and Regis were gonna have a problem selling anyway, but up against that, they're lucky if they do 100,000.
Dang. Salute the quickly in the chat. That brother said 100,000. We gotta remember, Devin the American Dream Haney, man, only gets a lot of hate, man, because of his father, man.
It's not hate though. See, I don't hate him.
Right.
I think the younger generation has really confused what hate means. Hate means I just refuse to give you credit because I dislike you. That's not true. I say Devin is a tremendous fighter. I think he's a very good fighter. Do I think he beat Tank? No. Do I think he beats Shakur? No, but he beats 90% of the guys between 135 and 140. He does. But the reality is he doesn't sell well. That's not personal. I'm looking at his numbers. His biggest fight was against Loma. It did 10% of what Tank and Ryan did. So he's not a big draw. He doesn't have an established hometown, which is why this is his first time fighting where he's fighting at. If he had an established fan base in the hometown, they would already know where to take his biggest fight. They're still reaching. So I don't hate Devin, and I know a lot of Devin fans, that's the first thing they say. You're a Devin hater. I don't hate him. I can just objectively look at the numbers and see that he doesn't sell well.
Yeah, what you think about that, Free man? Do you think Devin is gonna really not do well with this pay per view going shit against Money Mayweather? What you think, man?
Um, nah, I don't think it's gonna do well. Far as because Floyd, not only is Floyd still a big name in the sport of boxing, even though he hasn't fought in a number of years.
Hmm.
A lot of people still buy these pay-per-views for his exhibition, and now that he's putting on two actual fights with these exhibition, it just makes it more intriguing to watch that exhibition with Floyd Mayweather, because a lot of people was talking about the Lara and Danny Garcia fight before Floyd said he was going to try to get that on his undercard. They was already talking about they wanted to see that fight. And then you
Hmm.
got Stanionis fighting Keith Thurman, which could very well be another good fight. So I mean, those are, and we all know that Keith Thurman has a big name. We know that Danny Garcia got a big name. We know that Floyd got a big name, and Laura also has a name. So, and Stanionis is starting to make a name for himself. So he got a lot of names on that card,
Hmm.
and to be honest, I don't even know who's on the undercard of Regis and Devin.
Oh,
You cold blooded, Free. Let me read
real
this
quick, I
comment.
want to respond to you, Free, and I agree with you 100%. But
Let me
what
read
you
this
just
comment.
said,
Let me read this
all
comment
right,
before you
all right, go
go.
ahead.
But quickly said, uh, Devin ain't scared of Regis at all. He shouldn't be. Hell, neither of them should be scared of each other. They're grown men. I would say I think Regis is actually terrified because
Uh,
one thing about Devin Haney that people don't want to admit, he get a lot of backlash because of his religion. I've heard so
yeah.
many people give him hell because he was giving his God praise when he beat George Cambozo. But go ahead, Crown.
No, I just wanted to agree with D Free as far as how much bigger the other card is, and the fact that Danny and Kiefer are big. I would take it a step further though. Danny Garcia is a bigger star than Devin Haney.
Yeah,
Keith Thurman is also a bigger star than Devin Haney.
yeah.
Then you take both of them and couple them with the two biggest selling pay-per-view events in boxing history. How can Devin compete against that? The third bout on the card features a bigger star than he is, and he's in his main event.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I think the funny thing is we all know that Floyd makes people change their dates. I think at the end of the day, it's going to be very clear. Speak to my man Josh Sanders. It's going to be clear that at some point Devin Haney's going to change that date because I just honestly this whole Regis fight is not a big fight. If Devin really had any type of nuts, he would have fought Tio. I know my co-host is going to give me heck for saying this, but we all seen the video with Devin, and you seen it. I'm sure you seen it too, Crown. He looked scared to death when Tio was in his face. Tio said, "You've only been fed by a silver spoon," and he was like telling him
No,
out. Yeah,
no, no,
look,
no,
I'll put it
no,
out. Look,
no,
I'll put it
no,
out. He was
no,
scared.
no. Devin walked up and Tio changed his tone. Tio changed his tone. Devin said they was like, "Hey, we don't want y'all out here fighting." Devin was like, "You ain't got to worry about it, cause he ain't about to do a motherfucking thing."
That's
That
true.
man Tio changed his tone.
That's true. That's true.
That's cat. Hey, salute to my brother Mark Nash. He said, "I'll take that bet." We'll talk behind the scenes if they ever fight. I'm telling you, man, you gotta bring your money, man.
Hey,
You gotta bring your
I'm
money
I'm gonna
because
say this.
y'all seen the video when Tio was talking to Devin, you can see Devin was clearly scared, bro. He was
No, I
scared of this
cannot
dude.
see that.
I
No, I
got the
cannot
video
see that.
up. I got the video up.
Hey,
He was
hey,
scared to
hey,
death.
I'm as critical
Go
as
ahead.
anybody on Devin. That's not true.
No, I did not see that at all.
Hold on. Let me ask you this: how come Devin can only be relevant by mentioning Tio's name? That's the only thing that makes him relevant is when he
You,
says Tio's
dog,
name.
do you understand? Devin is not relevant because of Tio. Devin is relevant because of Tank, not
Devin is
Tio.
actually a bigger star than Tio. Tio's numbers are
Oh,
terrible. He makes the least amount of money out of all them.
he
Dog,
does, but that's
I, I,
because but
I'm,
that's because he
I'm,
take the tough fights. Go ahead.
no.
Take
I'm,
tough
I'm
fights
gonna
and
say
get
this.
less money.
I'm gonna say this. If Tio was a bigger star than Devin, don't you think Bob would have put him on pay per view already?
the fight for him hasn't came yet. He just take these
He
super
just
tough
fought
fights.
Josh Taylor.
Josh Taylor ain't no pay-per-view star.
No, I didn't say he was a pay-per-view star. Neither was Loma and Devin when they fought. They never been on pay-per-view. But he put both of them on pay-per-view for the first time.
Okay. Well, let me read a couple of these comments. He said, "What the FST or a dude with a missing?" Oh, here we go.
That
Well,
man
you
missing his
wrong. You
esophagus.
wrong.
Hey,
He
I
missing
got
his
something I want
esophagus.
y'all fellas to
Go
consider.
ahead.
You know Showtime is going out of business, right?
Right.
First, I'm gonna come out and say I'm gonna do a video on this, but I'm gonna tell y'all on here. First of all, that doesn't change PBC's business one bit.
Not at
If
all.
you look at Al Heyman, a lot of the way he works is patterned after Don King. The
Yes.
super cards, a bunch of stars, everything on pay-per-view. What did Don King do when HBO left him? He started TVKO and kept all the money. That's all they're gonna do. They're gonna find Showtime got out because they for a long time were able to make the lion's share of the money. Al Heyman came and changed that entire dynamic. So that's not a slight to him. That's a slight to the cable channels because they can't make the money they once made off it. And the fighters and the people in boxing are actually keeping the money now. All you're gonna see now is they're gonna have their own network. But what I will say, him and Floyd are appreciative for what Steven Espinoza did for them record-breaking deals at Showtime. So I think everybody thinks Floyd fighting on the same night Devin Haney's fighting is a slight to Devin Haney. I don't think that's it. I think it's more so a thank you to Steven Espinoza, and we're going to give Showtime one more big card on the way out the door, you know what I mean, to thank you for all the money, the billions we made with you over the last 10 years. So I think it's more of that. I think it's more about their alliance to Showtime than it is disrespect for Devin Haney.
Let me read a couple of these comments. Hold on. Let me read these comments real quick. My man Mark Nash said, Devin chumps Keo off every time they face. He said, no, I'll take that bet. Devin ain't changing his date. He said, BBO, you trolling or delusional. Laugh my butt off. You said he fought Loma on ESPN. He said, okay. He said Haney fought Loma on pay-per-view. They not buying a network, fam. This is what I'll tell you. What I've heard, and I think it's very true. I heard in the Wall Street Journal that they want to get Al Heyman back full time into concert promoting. So Al Heyman, people don't know this, but he's done Drake's last 3 tours. He also did J. Cole's last 2 tours.
He do all the big ones.
But the thing I didn't even notice, but J. Cole's tour for not this album, the album before did $35 million, and Al Heyman pretty much put that all together. So they really want to get Al Heyman back in the concert promoter business. So in order to do that, I think they just gave PBC an extra little thing. But we'll see what happens. But I know from what the Wall Street Journal was saying, you know, them want Al Heyman back in the concert. Because you hear Drake rap about Al Heyman all the time.
Oh, Al Heyman's been out there since the Jackson 5 for concert. But I'm going to tell you this, though.
Go ahead.
Al Heyman's not leaving boxing. You're going to see, as soon as Showtime's deal is done, as soon as the day they're out of boxing, you're going to see a huge announcement with an independent network deal with Al Heyman. Whether it's Google Prime or whatever, it's going to be a situation where they own their stuff and they're just contracting with a network. You're not going to see another Showtime deal or nothing like that.
I was going to say this. I was going to say this real quick about the Regis and Devin. I went back and watched the press conference. I gotta say, I think Regis might be scared of Devin. I think he might be scared of Devin.
Kind of looks that way.
I've never seen Regis act the way he acts towards any fighter. Regis has always been the one that's always talking about how he's going to put you in a hospital. He's going to beat you up. He's going to do this. This man ain't had no words for Devin. It was like he looked at Devin and didn't realize Devin was the size that he was. And when he seen Devin, it was like he kind of got a little shook up a little bit. So I don't know. I think he might be scared of Devin.
I can get. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was saying I think what it is he's going to F Devin up. And it's just like we seen with Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford was cool as a fan and literally took his belt off with Errol Spence. So I mean, it's gonna be a really solid meeting.
I'm not going with that shit no more. I'm not going. Them niggas changed their motherfucker their energy. them niggas usually get their ass whooped. I'm not falling for it. I think Regis gonna lose this fight, and I think he might lose it badly.
The one out I can give him, what I can look for to give him, right? Because I seen the same thing you saw. The energy wasn't the same. But the one excuse he may be able to have, a viable excuse, right? They showed behind the scenes footage of them talking and being friendly, all of them, But I think this is the first time for Regis having to actually actively promote a major event,
right?
And so because Devin and them are at the table themselves, not only is his first time as a fighter being a part of a major event like this, he's at the table too, and the fighters are expected to sit down and figure out how to market this fight. Sitting at the table and having these conversations with Devin, I don't think he's cagey enough media-wise to realize, when we sitting at the table, we can be cordial and get the deal done. But when we get out in front of the people, we're supposed to be talking shit. And I don't think he may not be savvy enough to be able to be a Floyd and turn that on when the cameras come on and turn it off. He just may not have that. And a lot of fighters are like that. Behind the scenes, most fighters get along. But the smart ones that are marketing their fight know that can't be the energy in public.
I think he's from New Orleans
agree
too,
with that
man.
a little bit. I agree with that a little bit.
So
yeah, I agree with that a little bit. The one thing that it keeps bringing me back to, Regis don't really let nobody talk shit to him without him saying something. Like the only person I've seen that really talk shit to Regis and Regis pretty much shut up, ain't really say too much, was Matissa. When Matissa said, "I'm gonna put your ass in the hospital," Regis ain't had no words for him. Regis was like, "Man, I'm on the bigger and better things." I was like, "This man got a belt. What the fuck are you talking about?"
He was talking about more money. That's what he was talking about.
I understand
and
that,
the real thing, the reality is
be
this.
Undisputed.
No. Some people want to be undisputed. But what you got to remember is this. Floyd educated guys. Back when he fought and he had 6 titles and said, listen, I'm only defending 1. Because why am I paying sanctioning fees when people already know who I am? Already making big money. And these titles, they're not willing to negotiate anymore and take less money. So why I need 4 titles to give up 12% of my purse on top of the 40-some% I'm paying in taxes? So what Regis is, as an older fighter, is probably saying, hold on. I can fight Matisse, who is a tough fight, for little money, or me being 35, 36 years old already and been around a long time. I can use this title as leverage to go get me paid. And the highest way to get paid right now is Devin Haney. That makes sense.
No, I'm not mad at him going for the bigger money fight. I'm just looking at Regis like, I ain't never seen you be quiet to nobody. The same way I was looking at David Benavidez when Morrell went at him. I ain't never seen David Benavidez be quiet to nobody.
Well, Benavidez don't have this excuse, like I said. And like I said, I see the same energy you see. But the only thing I'm saying it may be is that Regis has never been in this position before. It's easy to do all that talking and all that when somebody else is responsible for the business of the fight. Sometimes a lot of fighters say, like Terrence Crawford learned the hard way, a lot of them say they want that control. It ain't that easy if you don't know what you're doing. Sometimes if you don't know what you're doing, it's better to have that team handling that for you. And you can just worry about the fight and going around and being a butthead. But that's a lot to juggle for somebody who's never been in that position before.
You know what it is? It's just like one of my favorite fighters, Jamel Charlo. He a stone cold nigga any other time. But he got in there with Canelo Alvarez, one of the
Oh no, he got hit with a big shot and said he didn't want to be there. Ain't no doubt about that.
But no, I'm talking about just in general. He already knew he had no chance against Canelo because he wasn't in the same league as Canelo. But
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I believe he thought he could compete. The first time Canelo hit him and he realized like, oh, this power is different. He made a business decision and said, you know what? I still got my titles. I'm going to go ahead and just survive.
Salute to my man, Dub right side. My man been missing. He said, point of order. Y'all out of order.
I don't think Dub was listening, because if Dub was listening, he wouldn't have said that, because he's the biggest Devin Haney fan outside of motherfucking BFTB. That nigga ride for Devin. So that's why I said he wasn't listening, because if he rewind and listen to what I said, he'd be like, oh, okay, I got you, D. I got you.
And I was defending Devin.
Right, he wasn't listening. He wasn't listening.
Let's think about Devin. We seen Devin, go on a tough fight with Loma. And I'll be honest, Devin Haney looked really good in that fight until Loma turned it on. Once Loma turned it on, he totally outclassed him. And it just showed me that Devin Haney really is not who we thought he was, man. And if we think he's going to be somebody,
I didn't see
he's
that
a very good fighter. He's just not better than Shakur and Tank, in my opinion. But he's still a very good fighter.
Well, you really can't count the Puerto Rican kid because he hasn't fought nobody. But if you say maybe Tank
he's
or
a two-time, two-division world champion.
What's his best win? Jules?
He beat whatever champions they put in front of him.
No, what's his best win?
What's Devin Haney's best win?
Lomachenko.
Okay, that was one fight. He won the fight from Cambosos.
No,
of course, way better than him. And hold on. And Lomachenko has spent the last 3 years running from Shakur.
Oh.
He been asking for Shakur since before Devin did.
You trying to say Lomachenko, who Tank Davis ducked? Okay, who Tank
asked Lomachenko too, and Lomachenko turned it down.
I'm gonna tell you like this. You do realize Loma just ducked Shakur. You do realize that, right?
He ducked Tank too.
No, yeah, he did. But I'm just saying, you do.
Free.
No.
Free.
What did he when Shakur said he wanted to fight Loma? What did Loma say?
No.
He said no. I need some time. I think he said he needs some time. He's not gonna fight until next year. He needs some time to recover or whatever.
And then turn right around and fought Devin.
And he make it a fight with Cambosos.
This is the thing you missing. You gotta remember, Loma just got robbed.
No, he didn't get robbed.
All the more reason to want to come back and prove a point.
He just got robbed.
All the more reason to want to come back and prove a point.
My brother Dub called that fight.
And if he did get robbed, just like he said, that's all the more reason to get back in there and beat up Shakur.
And as somebody that picked Loma to win, I thought he won. He didn't get robbed. A robbery is when you obviously win and you don't get the decision. That fight was too close for anybody to get robbed.
He almost stopped him in the 11th round.
He did, but guess what? We count 12 rounds. We don't count.
Not the whole
we don't
fight.
Count one round. We count 12 rounds. And we can't go back and change the early round scores just because somebody had a big 11th round. Now, if you go round by round, I don't have a problem with it. I had it 7-5 for Lomachenko. But some of the rounds were so close, I can't be mad that you had it 7-5 for Devin. Now, if you had it 8-4 or 9-3, then I say you bucking. But you can't say that you robbed in a 7-round, 5-round fight. Nobody got robbed. Just the guy you thought that won didn't win. But it's subjective, and when it's close, it can go either way.
Jules, he's about to stop him. Did you watch the fight? He was about to stop him.
No, that's one round.
No, you keep thinking. So
do you understand how fights are judged?
You beat somebody's ass. 11 rounds, and then all of a sudden you about to get stopped in the 12th round. That means he won?
No. He won.
So what are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
The score gets handed in round by round.
No. Do you realize you said he almost got you said he almost got stopped. You do realize that round was a 9-10 round. It wasn't a 10-8 round.
Free. You act like Devin Haney was dominating Loma. Loma was touching him.
It doesn't matter. You understand how fights are scored round by round.
What I'm saying is, one round that you say he was about to get stopped does not mean that he lost the fight. Because if that was the case, then he lost the fight to the daggone Linares.
Free, you seen the fight. It looked like Devin was about to go to bed.
It does not matter. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It don't matter.
He's determined. He's determined not to understand the way judging works.
No, listen. This is what I'm saying.
Don't know the way judges work.
I'm gonna tell you what the Devin Loma fight reminded me a lot of. Not exactly, but very similar. The only difference is the right man didn't win. It was a lot like the Oscar versus Sweet Pea fight. And the fact of this is why I say that Oscar
Sweet Pea beat Oscar.
But listen, Oscar landed all the big shots. All the meaningful shots was landed by Oscar the whole fight. And if you look at that fight, all the big meaningful shots were landed by Lomachenko, not Devin Haney.
I'm glad you
it's up to the judge and what they looking for.
I'm glad you finally admitted that Sweet Pea was robbed, because that's exactly what you just said. That's exactly what you just said. It reminded you of Sweet Pea versus Oscar. I'm glad you just
No,
admitted
I
that
said,
sweet people
I
So
said,
the
crying.
truth
Lord,
finally came out, BBO.
I'm glad you just admitted it. I'm glad you just admitted it.
hold on.
Nah, ain't no
First thing
hold
first,
on. We
man.
all heard that.
Hold
You
on.
Hold on, point of
Talking.
order, man.
Huh? You keep talking, man. And you shut the fuck up. Huh?
capping ass nigga.
I'm glad you just
Hey,
admitted
hold
it.
on, wait a minute. Point of order, man. Point of order.
Go ahead,
Y'all out
Doug.
of
Go
order.
ahead, Doug.
Y'all are
Go
out
ahead,
of
Doug.
order right now.
Go ahead, Doug.
I'm glad
What's
you
up,
just
brother?
What's your
admitted it.
point of order?
Hey, look, my first point. Hey, first things first. Shout out to all y'all, man. Much love and respect. Y'all know it ain't nothing but y'all know what it is. BVO, man, you gotta stop this hating, man. You gotta stop the hate. You gotta stop the hate, my brother. You know I love you. Wait, look now, Crown Jewel, that's my brother over there. Me and him,
What's up,
we ain't,
bro?
we probably won't never agree on Devin. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no problem with him.
I've been giving Devin props tonight. You didn't listen.
No, I ain't mad at I ain't mad at you giving him props. I'm talking about him and Shakur.
Oh no. I'm rocking with Shakur all day. Him and Shakur.
And I'm rocking with Devin. Even though I love Shakur.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that at all.
Well,
But
that's
my
because.
thing,
Go ahead.
all I'm saying, BVO, is at the end of the day, ain't no way you can sit here. You watch me call the fight. I listened to you talk about me call the fight. And you said after the fight, Devin won the fight. You said it.
I was wrong. I thought
This
we
guy.
watched it. I
Here we
was wrong. I was
go.
wrong because I didn't
No,
see.
no,
Listen, I didn't. Hold on. Let me finish. I didn't see Devin's head flopping back and forth like I did when I watched it on replay. I mean, Loma was about to stop him. He
You
was about to
just
stop him.
you just said Loma landed the biggest shots, but then you told me you then in the same sentence or in the same conversation you said, "Well, I really didn't see those big shots during the fight. I had to go back and look at the replay to see the big shots, but there were big shots there. You can't.
This the thing.
you BBO,
Go ahead.
you do realize when the judges see the fight, they only see it one time. They don't rewatch the fight and make a judgment. They watch it live and make a judgment on that round. So you can't go back and rewatch it. But you know how many fights you would change an opinion on if you go back and rewatch every fight and say, "Oh, I didn't see that shot. He might have won that round." No, you watch it live and you judge on what you saw
And
live.
they're watching it from three different sides of the ring, so they're seeing three different views.
I'll say
And
this.
they
I'll say this.
all
If we
gave
going
it
off
to
live,
Devin.
if we going off live, I will admit this. It looked like Devin won if you look at it live the first time. I'll admit that. It looked like he won 7-5 the first fight. If you talk about the first watch, it looked like Devin won kind of easy. But I'm
But
saying when I
7-5 either
rewatched it,
way can't be a robbery.
Nah. I mean, you
oh,
could say either of them won it the first time you watched it. I watched the fight 3 different times, and I had them both winning on multiple occasions.
That's why
It
nobody
was
got
really
robbed.
just
It was
one or
too
two
close.
swing rounds in there.
No,
See,
Yeah, it was just one or two swing rounds in there.
this is what BBO is hooked on the fact that Loma almost stopped Devin. But like I told him,
that's
One
even
round.
with even with
That
that
don't win you
one
a
round,
fight. You got to
even
finish. And if that's the case, he shouldn't have let off the gas. He
right,
shouldn't have
and
put it in the hands of the judges. So that's on
even with
Lomachenko.
that one round, he never dropped Devin. That round was scored a 10-9 round. It wasn't scored 10-8. It was scored 10-9. So even though he was almost about to be stopped, it still was a 10-9 round. He never dropped him.
free. I'm gonna read these comments before I get on you, man. But you talking crazy. Speak to my man
You talking
88.
crazy.
He said Loma crying backstage like a woman. LOL. He said, BBO, did you know Loma almost did the same thing to Tio when they fought? He did almost stop Tio, but he did. He said Loma won like 3 rounds, stop it. He said, heard him free shaking my head. We heard
That's
that
cap.
BBO. What he say, Doug, Mr. Respectfully. He said, Devin was traumatized by Loma's body. Pause. This is the thing y'all missing. When
tenderizing, not traumatizing, tenderizing.
oh, sorry, tenderizing. This is the thing I'm saying. He won the fight, right? You can say Devin won the fight, but listen, when he had a chance to fight a guy like Teofimo Lopez, I put the video up so you can see it. He was terrified of fighting a
No, he
guy
was
like Tio.
not.
He was terrified of him.
You know
He
what his
talked
dad
himself
was
out.
on for 10 million?
Oh my God. Oh my God, you can't listen to Bill Haney. Bill Haney did 40 months in
We're not
prison for this,
listening,
bro.
Bill.
You
I
don't
You gotta
see
played the
listen to Bill.
I played the video for you. It was T.O. and his father asking for 10 million, and then they said they wanted 20 million.
Hey, real quick, BVO, are you half Hispanic? Respectfully, I say that. I asked the question respectfully.
Here we go. Here we go.
You got, I don't know.
But the thing is, he said Devin lost the fight because he almost got stopped. But he said T.O. won the fight, even though he almost got stopped, but Loma didn't stop him.
But he won that 12th round in the same. Basically,
So
I'm gonna tell
did
you something
Devin.
funny.
So
This
did
is the thing
Devin.
I'm saying. This is the thing that's
So
funny.
did Devin.
Lomachenko's ego has really derailed his boxing career. He could have beat Devin Haney and he could have beat Teofimo Lopez if he would have not took it off the grass.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda. We talking about what happened.
That's who he is.
Yeah, but it's. But I'll say this.
Brother, we done seen this. Loma done this repeatedly, and now all of a sudden, well, if he would have did, and he would, no, he didn't. He didn't take it. Well, he did try to kind of pull off the gas against even Comey. He did, which was and what happened? It ended up going to a decision when it shouldn't have went to a goddamn decision. So we done seen this from Lomachenko. Hey, respect to the brother, the man can fight, but at the same time, he ain't got the killer instinct that he needs to have, in my personal opinion.
Typical European boxer that just wants to Olympic style boxer, just box pretty and outpoint you, and that's not always rewarded in professional boxing. But what I wanted to say real quick to one of your comments that passed, he said somebody said something about Loma crying in the dressing room like a little girl.
Yeah.
Fighters put they all in the fights.
Yep.
You'd be surprised how many of your favorite fighters cry in the dressing room. That's not odd. Losing a fight that you work your heart out for is equivalent to getting your heart broke. I've seen the biggest of the biggest cry behind them curtains.
So you was back there
I
crying.
mean, Crown Jewel. When you think about it, a boxing camp is 8.
Yeah.
When you think about it, a boxing camp is 8 weeks to 12 weeks. The NFL season is 17 weeks. So one fight is essentially like your whole season. Like that shit is heartbreaking when you put everything into something
your whole
and it just
life
dies like that.
to accomplish this one goal. Your whole family, your girl, your kids, everybody's focused on changing your whole life to focus on this one goal. And in your mind, if you came to win, you're crushed if you lose. The fighters you should question are the ones that lose and smile, because they didn't mean nothing to them. But I'm telling you,
this is the thing about you that's so funny. Let me bring up the hypocrisy of my man, Coach Jules. This is the same guy who said that now, but watched Jamel Charlo steal from the fans and made up all these excuses of why we shouldn't be upset as fans because he wasn't willing to put it on the line.
Tell me how those two make any sense to be compared.
It makes perfect sense because you just said you put it all on the line. We seen Jamel Charlo steal from his fans. And you had no problem.
Hold on.
That is
you're changing. Hold on, let me answer because you're changing my whole point, and I can't let you do that. At what point did I say that he put it all on the line? I said you changed your whole life in preparation for the fight. You and your family, regardless of what happens when the bell rings. Hold on. You don't want to let me finish.
Go ahead.
And I maintain even Jamal Charlo, in the 8 weeks that he had to leave his family and train, his kids had to adjust to not being with him. His wife had to adjust to not being with him. He had to change his entire lifestyle to prepare for this. Yes, he did a hell of a lot of sacrifices. Did it translate in the ring? No. But again, what I'm talking about is not chastising a fighter for caring enough to cry when it doesn't go his way. You've seen NBA players cry when they lose. You've seen football players cry when they lose. You're talking about somebody's ultimate goal in life being snatched away from them. I don't think that's the reason to change.
Crown Jewel, a point you made was when a motherfucker ain't crying, when he's smiling after he lose like that. That's the people you need to watch. That's what we talking about when we look at Jamel Charlo.
As a coach,
he walked out that bitch happy than a motherfucker.
Oh no, but I never doubted that Jamel Charlo made a business decision and didn't try to win. I never said that.
Can you say he stole the money?
I didn't say he stole the money either because he agreed. He legally honored his contract. Did he do?
Cállate la boca. Shut your mouth. Cállate la boca. Cállate la boca.
Running the
It
ball.
was, it was a legal bank robbery.
Hey man,
Legal bank robbery.
you gotta stop interrupting folk with these damn. What the?
Yeah, man, BBO. That's rude as hell.
Hey,
I'm
BB,
just saying, and Coach Jules is my brother, man. This is my guy. He knows for a fact that Jamel stole the money, and he won't say it. That's
I
crazy.
can't say that because the man honored his contract.
I
In his
will.
contract, it said
The money.
on a certain date, at a certain time, he will enter a boxing ring at a certain
We
weight
gotta
and
we
fight
gotta get,
against a man. He did it.
but we ain't
He
gotta get.
didn't say, I'll fight him toe to toe. That's not in the contract.
No, hold on, Crown. Hold on now. And I agree with you. I agree that's not in the contract. I'm not gonna say he necessarily stole the money, but I will say, like you brought up, Crown, when you see a fighter after the fight smiling, grinning, kikiing after getting your ass whooped in the fight, I gotta ask questions. I gotta ask.
And I'll be
I'm
the
gonna tell
first to
y'all.
say
This,
he
see,
didn't try to win.
Let me
this is
finish.
the thing. This is the thing. Everybody's BBO keeps saying he stole the money. He didn't steal the money. What the man did was simple. What he did was what a lot of people do every single day that y'all
At work.
give y'all money to. He tricked you. He tricked you. That's what he did. He
Or
tricked you.
maybe this. Compare this to the layman. How many people up here have or have had a job? Everybody,
Lord
right?
have.
Yeah, everybody.
You ever had a coworker that did the bare minimum but still got paid?
Yep. Got it.
That's me, nigga. I used to work at a
That's what,
produce
no, that's
freezer.
what Jamal Charlo did. He came to work and did the bare minimum. But when
Let
you
me
show
read.
up to work, you got to get paid.
But at the
Yeah.
same, we can
Let me
call.
do this.
Hold on. We can
Go ahead.
call a fighter out who
No, you
does
can. You
things.
absolutely can. You
And
absolutely
so that's all I'm saying. I'm saying, according, like you brought up, I agree with you 100% when we talk about fighters crying, when we talk about anybody crying about something they didn't work their life for, put they all their ultimate effort into. Shit, if you lose, you know what I'm saying? It's the ultimate disappointment. So I
Yeah.
understand the point. The thing is when you have somebody like Charlo who went out there, and I agree with you agreeing again, crying. In the first minute and a half, I think Canelo hit him with a shot on the arm or something, and he was like, "Nope, not,
Yeah. He
nope,
said,
not doing it, not
I'm
doing
still the
it."
champ.
Yeah, hey,
Let me
hey,
read.
and then, but this was the part that I felt bad about, because I thought Canelo would win. I thought he would put on a better performance. When he got up there and he said something to the effect that I survived, I made it out the ring, whatever it was. At that point, I was like, okay. So after that,
Yeah,
after the
but
shot,
let's not be super tough on him though, because those fights always happen, right?
no, I
Hold,
understand.
No,
Mr.
no, no,
Starlin,
no, no, no.
hold on.
Hold on, let me finish though. Let me
Okay,
finish.
all right,
Let him finish. Go
all
ahead.
right. My bad.
And so all I'm saying is, and I understand and not being super tough on it, but at the same time, as a fan of the sport, if you looking to take this fight, right, the same way I look at any fighter, if you looking to take this fight, I'm looking for you to go in there and put it on the line. And
Absolutely, I agree.
when you sell us, and really I will give him credit because
Wolf
he didn't
tickets.
really speak too much. He didn't really speak too much during the press conferences, but man, you going to fight possibly the face of boxing, what a lot of people consider pound for pound top five fighter. I don't think he's number one easily. I think it's Bud, but you going to
Yeah.
fight this man. Then go out there and put something on, bro. Like make it happen. Go try to win the fucking fight. Don't just
So,
roll over and say, you know what, I'm gonna make it out. I'm gonna make it through, regardless of what happened. I'm gonna make it through. Don't do that. Don't do us like that, man.
No, I agree. And you
let me
got a
read
right
these
to feel
comments
that
real
way.
quick. Let me read these comments real quick. But before I do, I got to say this one thing. And this is going to really make it easy for y'all. What you basically seen was Jamel Charlo make, like you said, a business decision. But what happens is you got people like my man Jules who want to protect a man who stole from the fans. And that's crazy. That's one of the worst things I ever heard. That's one of the worst takes I ever heard. That it's okay he stole from the fans because the nigga showed up. But it's all right. Let me read this comment. My man, he said, free BBO is cool when T.O. do it, but it's a problem when Devin do it. That's crap, man. That's cap. Salute to Miss Just Do. My man, Dr. Mark says salute. He said, all the time, Crown, laugh my butt off. He said, Charlo finessed everyone. He stole, man. You got to call it what it is. And you know what my grandma said? If you steal, you would kill. So you got to watch a cat like that, man. But go ahead, Jules. I know you got something to say, bro. The
You
dude's
on me?
a thief, man. Yeah, he's a thief. He's a thief, man. I'm calling you out, but you won't call it what you see. He's a thief, bro.
I
And
don't
you know
see
it.
it. Hold on again, because I know business. And if a man honors his contract, I can't call him a thief. Do I think he fought valiantly? No. But I can't call him a thief. And I'm saying we have to be uniform with that. Because he did the same thing that Amir Khan did, but we didn't hold Amir Khan's performance against him because he's fighting a bigger guy. He did the same thing Marlon Starling did when he was welterweight champ, and he moved up to middleweight and fought Michael Nunn and lost, and nobody held it against him because he was fighting a bigger guy. Or how about your guy, Canelo, when he was daring to be great, to go up and get the hell beat out of him by Bivol? Nobody held it against him because it was a bigger guy. Same thing. If you're going to hold Charlo to that standard, hold Canelo to it too.
Canelo, you know what's funny?
The
The thing about
I'm talking about in this situation isn't necessarily losing to the bigger fighter, right? Is the fact that even Canelo, and I will say in the Bivol fight, hell, Bivol neutralized Canelo so fucking easily that he didn't have a chance. You know, he didn't have a chance.
Hey, I got another question about Canelo. Did Canelo quit against Mayweather?
Hold on, damn, let me do. In this,
And now that
That's
was
a
about to
good
say
question.
that was about as equivalent as Jamel fighting Canelo. When Canelo fought Floyd, Floyd
He
made
quit.
Canelo look like he did not belong in the ring.
He didn't even want to try anymore.
All he
that's
kept
what
saying was
Jamel did. Go ahead, Deb. That's what
So
Jamel did.
so hold Canelo to the same standard.
at
Jamel.
the end of that, all that man kept saying was, I couldn't hit him. I couldn't hit him.
He's a
Hey,
great
Deb,
fighter. He's a
Deb,
great
let me ask
fighter.
you this. Deb, let me ask
He
you this.
didn't punch very hard.
the difference
Deb,
in the fight
go ahead.
is that in the Canelo Floyd fight, Canelo was still attempting to throw punches. He just wasn't landing shit. He
Oh
was getting
no. Late in that fight, when Floyd could have stopped him, he started trying to survive. He was no longer coming forward. If you look at the last 4 rounds of that fight, it was Canelo that was dancing.
I didn't say come. I didn't say. I said throwing punches. It
Yeah,
got
well,
to.
I mean,
Jamel was throwing
No,
punches. Jamel was throwing
Canelo
punches.
was coming forward because remember, Jules, I don't know if you remember when he missed so wide and Floyd showboated on that shit.
no, there was moments
That
where
was
he threw
late in the fight.
big wild shots and missed. But consistently towards the end of those rounds, Floyd was pressing him and walking to him, and Canelo wanted no sauce.
Yeah.
Can I
He
ask you this?
only
Can I ask you
punched.
this?
He only punched when Floyd was not punching.
Yeah,
Let me.
and the
Yeah.
problem is Charlo. The man never pressed. He never came forward.
No.
Even with,
I agree.
even with
I'm just telling BBO to
But
hold his
he
boyfriend to the same standard.
Okay. Hold on, man. Come on, man. Now that's rough, bro.
did
Hold on.
you say your
What are we
girlfriend?
talking about? Yeah, this dude's rough, man. I don't know what you on over there.
Point of information. Point of information. Point of information.
You got that long beard. I don't know what you on, bro. But please don't
It's
say that on
either
here, man.
T.O. or
Please.
Canelo. One of them your
that's
boyfriend.
a
No,
point of information. You
no.
gotta explain what you mean, Crown Jewel. What you mean by
Yeah,
that, brother?
that's
Have you
wild,
ever
bro.
heard him defend Canelo or Tiafimo?
Yes.
That's a way
Point of
a woman.
information acknowledged.
That's only a way that a woman would defend her man.
Hold on.
Bro,
But
He
hold on.
got a point. He got a point.
If
no
you
My,
try to
doubt.
come at a woman
Nah.
that love a man, she'll find a
T.O. is
way to make
BBO's
it right.
boyfriend. He don't fuck with Canelo like that.
You love Canelo.
is
You
Ron?
love Canelo.
Is Ron? The man picked Ryan Garcia to be Tank, so it got to be Ryan Garcia over everybody, bro.
BBO, man. Come
I was
on, bro.
wrong. I'm
He
gonna just say
like
this.
all them company guys.
I'm gonna say this to
You
you,
don't know
man.
shit about boxing. You don't know shit
Yeah,
about boxing.
I hear what you're saying. Go ahead.
Bro.
But sometimes what's funny? I'm gonna tell you something about my man Crown. One time we was on a panel right here on BBO Boxing, and this man Crown threatened to give another panelist a two-piece because you said something you didn't like. Now,
No.
that's the craziest thing I ever
Let the record reflect correctly. You gotta speak fact. If you gonna quote events, you
He
gotta
threatened the
speak
man.
fact.
Hey, Dub. Let me finish. Dub, he threatened the man for not agreeing with him. He told the man these hands can move.
That's not true. Let's put it in context. That man told me he would come to America and knock me out before I said anything.
It got to be Jimmy. It had to be Jimmy.
It was Jimmy.
He said, I will come
I
to
don't know.
America and knock you. I said,
That's fucking crazy, motherfucker.
I know that. How did I know? And Jimmy, that's my boy. I fuck with Jimmy, but you know, Jimmy, he instigate.
He told
Jimmy
me
talk
I'll
that
knock
shit to
you the fuck
everybody.
out.
I respect that nigga.
Yeah, Jimmy say that shit to everybody, and he gonna bust a grape in a fruit fight.
Hey, you talk to Jimmy.
Oh,
Jimmy, he's 6'3", 217 pounds, and so I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Go ahead.
Yeah.
that the man didn't say nothing to Crown, and Crown threatened the
That's
man.
a bold-faced lie.
That's a fucking lie. That's a goddamn lie. I know.
Bold-faced lie.
Look,
I'm about to change BBO name from Skip Better to Exaggeration BBO.
And you know what? I was completely caught off guard when he just came out of nowhere and told me, you don't know what you're talking about, and I'll come to America and knock you the fuck out. I was like, whoa. Huh?
Yeah.
hey, and look, Crown, you
That
know,
nigga Jimmy, he snort dope. That's his problem, bro. He just pop off on people. This
but
nigga crazy.
here's how you know it's crazy right here, Crown. This how you know it's crazy. BBO didn't tell me nothing about y'all interaction, and I was able to tell you exactly who it was.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And the man done did it on multiple occasions. That's I fought with Jimmy, and I tell him all the time, bro. Hey, sometimes you just come to troll, bro. You come to troll. I understand it. You come to troll, but at the same time, we're gonna keep this honest. And in this situation, Crown is right. BVO, brother. Respectfully, I say this respectfully, but it sounds like you're simping for certain ethnicities of fighters. That's just what it seemed like. I could be wrong.
And then he turned around and called himself an Asiatic black man.
Yeah, Asiatic black man, amazing.
I don't hate the kid.
You don't.
I don't hate the kid, but I just like to put him in the hospital, though. I like to send his ass to the damn ambulance.
Always.
You know what's funny? Hold on, let me say this. Let me say this to Dub, and let me say this definitely to the Puerto Ricans that's on the panel. At the end of the day, you got to remember, I've been dealing with this for 400 years. They've always detected Asian.
You've been dealing with it for 400 years.
That's how it's been. They've been doing that.
You younger than me,
nigga. Dog, I need to go to Cleveland right now. I need to go to Cleveland right now and kidnap BBO because I'm about to get paid. This man walking the earth for 400 years. 400 years.
Only got 35 years worth of experience. Only got 35 years worth of experience. So,
hey, Dub, and then it's crazy, Dub. That breaks my heart that
you 35.
Another black man.
but I'm 35.
No, I'm talking about BBO. BBO, you 35?
No, I think BBO 32.
He 32. He 432.
BBO's 32. You BBO. From now on, you call me Mr. Sanchez.
That man BBO is 32.
Kid.
That nigga BBO is 432.
Hey,
that man said for the last what I've been going through, what he been going through for 400. All right.
I'm gonna say this. You know, D Free is the tallest midget I've ever met. So I'm not gonna get into him. But I'll say this about my man Crown. The fact that this man don't never say nothing about the fighters he don't like. I'll just say what you want to say. When I see a guy win 2 lineal championships, I'm gonna give him credit. You want to give a guy Tank credit who ain't fought nobody, ain't trying to fight nobody. See,
So
I want to fight the best.
But ain't nobody trying to fight from T.O.
Hey, what I will say about Tank is he beat your fighter,
knocked him out. And you had to come on to say Crown Jewel was the greatest.
With a body shot.
Hold on. The man cheated. The man had a spy in the camp. So this
what
is
are you talking about?
That's not cheating.
Lord,
That's war. That's espionage.
I try to explain this to BBO.
That's part of war, nigga.
A spy
foreign partners all
talk
talk to each other.
Hire to go to that camp. He didn't hire that man. Ryan Garcia picked that man to be a sparring partner. The man hurt Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia fired him, and he went to take and say, "Hey, I hurt him in sparring.
I hurt his ribs."
But see,
That's
this
not
is
a
type of
spy. That's a bitter employee. That's what that is. That's
They
not
call
a spy.
Oliver McCall a spy for knocking out Mike Tyson in camp and then going to the news with it after he got fired. It happens all the time.
No, that's a bitter employee. That's not a spy.
But even if he had a spy in the camp, I don't give a damn what he got in the camp. What I plan to come with, shit, when I'm sparring an individual, that ain't my whole game plan. So whatever, whoever is in my camp, you know what I'm saying? When I get into the ring, I may take bits and pieces from everything I did with each different individual sparring partner, but one person, motherfucker, can't give my game plan away.
Here's the thing. I'm gonna expound on that. If I'm the better fighter than you, you can have my game plan because you can't stop me from executing it.
Stop it. Hey, in football, what we say? Hey, I know you gonna run the ball. In the fourth quarter, you up by a field goal with 4 minutes left. I know you're gonna run the ball. Guess what? It's my job to stop that shit.
Can you out execute me?
That's it.
Can it don't matter.
It don't matter. I agree with that.
Well, let me ask everybody this. So after what we've seen with Chance Crawford completely beating the life out of Errol Spence, do you think it deserves a rematch? I'm gonna start with my man Dub. Does it deserve a rematch?
Does it deserve a rematch? Deserve?
Yes. Yeah, does it deserve a rematch?
It deserves a rematch because that's what the contract said. Do I want to see a rematch? That's a totally different question.
So I'm just saying, do you think he deserves a rematch?
Yes. Absolutely. That's what the contract was signed for a rematch.
At 147, right?
Hold on. Either way it goes, the contract was signed for a rematch. So yes, it deserves a rematch. It deserves a rematch.
So he's gonna fight him at 147 like he should, right?
No, that's not what the contract says.
If you listen to Stephen Espinosa expounded on this, and he said specifically the contract does not force anybody into a weight class. Say it again.
It doesn't specify weight for the rematch.
But he also said that if there was a hard line of one person staying at 47, another person going to 54, that's one thing. But you can't sit here and be trying to fight other people at higher weight classes, aka Canelo. You can't be trying to fight them at higher weight classes and not willing to give this man a rematch at a higher weight class. That's more or less what Stephen Espinosa said. I didn't say it; he said it. So we got to see what happened, but it does deserve a rematch because they both signed for a rematch. The same way Deontay Wilder deserved his rematch, you know what I'm saying? The same way Kambosos deserved his rematch. When you sign a contract, the same way Charlo got paid by signing his contract, and a rematch clause is in there, then you got to respect the rematch clause.
Hey, Dub, you my brother, and I love you. That was the worst take I ever heard in my life. The guy
that was absolutely facts.
You gonna go to me?
Absolute facts.
Go ahead, Crump. Go ahead.
Real quick, before we go to you, how was that the worst take ever? Just give me real quick. How was that?
BBO can't identify facts and opinions. That's what it is.
Want to explain yourself?
All I say is this, man. Hold on.
He can't identify facts.
What the fuck you say?
Let me say this, man. What the reason I say that is because at the end of the day, in talking about Canelo, we all know that's just him clout chasing. He has no shot at beating Canelo. Canelo's the best in the world. He's just trying to get some clout. At the end of the day, if I'm Terence Crawford, I'm going to bring that brother back to 147. You're going to have to show me that you're as good as you say you are.
That was the question. That wasn't.
Let me go though. I ain't get my turn on that. He's going to something else now. Let me go.
But you moving the goalpost, BVO. You moving the goalpost.
The question was, does it deserve a rematch? And the answer is yes.
Can I answer that?
Go ahead.
Please.
All right. Well, I agree with all of y'all. First of all, but I'm gonna take it a step further. Even if it wasn't a rematch clause, Terence Crawford was the clear B-side. He himself said Earl Spence gave up things he did not have to bend over backwards and make the fight work. Earl Spence took less money so that Terrence Crawford could take the fight, thus giving Terrence Crawford the opportunity. These are Terrence Crawford's words. So if you just look at that alone, yes, Earl Spence, I'll make it personal, deserves a rematch based on those facts. But in my opinion, Earl Spence should not want a rematch, and his people should not want a rematch for him.
Agreed.
I'm one of the people that feel like he's permanently damaged and should take a massive amount of money he's made and go enjoy his life.
And I agree 100% with that. I don't want to see a rematch. I think even if it's at a higher weight class, I think Bud may be even more dominant at a higher weight class, in my opinion. But at the same time, if he want his rematch, that's on him and his team, and they're deserving of the rematch.
Giving him a shot.
They're deserving of the rematch off of what they did and off of the contract that they signed.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't think there's no argument whether Terrence should uphold the rematch agreement. I don't think there should be an argument there.
No, it's not. The only problem I have with it is Earl's health. I don't think he's healthy enough for a rematch. I don't think he should fight anybody anymore.
And I don't disagree with that piece either. I'm just saying that if that's between him and his team,
You're right, because he earned it.
If he can fight, then he deserved a rematch.
Yeah, he gave Crawford a shot, and it's only right that Crawford return the favor. That's true.
Let me read this comment real quick. My man Josh said he made him quit. He said Ryan shook his head. No, he could not. Got up at 6 or 7. He said, Anthony said, salute free in chat. My man Bruce Gas, what's going on, brother? He said, I want to see him try and get back respect a man for that 100. I'll say that. At the end of the day, man, to say that that Errol Spence is a man because he want to try to get some money. At the end of the day, man, something was wrong with him. I don't know what it was. I hate to make that excuse. I was telling Free this. Something was wrong with him.
No doubt about it.
I don't know what it was, but the way Bud beat him, I think he should just stay away from Bud and maybe go up and fight somebody else. Because at the end of the day, if he doesn't get another big fight, let's be honest here, Errol Spence might not go to the Hall of Fame, bro, because he has not done enough. He has not done enough to go to the Hall of Fame yet.
BBO, Andy
Garcia.
Hold on. You done moved the post again.
He's in the Hall of Fame, first ballot.
That's that.
BBO, you done moved the goalpost again because the question originally was should or does he deserve the rematch? That was the question. And so I understand what you're saying. But at the end of the day, to answer the question, to stay on topic, the man, Bud, he shouldn't have a choice but to rematch Earl Smith the same way Devin didn't have a choice but to rematch Kambosos the same way, even though it had to go through arbitration. Tyson Fury had to give Deontay Wilder his rematch. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't understand what the argument is.
So what you saying? So you moving the goalpost? Now you bring up Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder lost 3 straight fights, bro.
No, he did not.
Not many people will want to do that.
No, he did not. No, he did not.
Hold on, wait. Hold on. Wait a minute. I didn't move the goalpost. I answered the question. The question was about the rematch, and I only put examples that other individual had to honor their rematch. And I'm saying that because of that, those examples brought up that Terrence Bud Crawford should have to honor his rematch if Errol Spence wants the rematch. That's all I'm saying.
And I'll say this. I think it's funny, too, that Bud Crawford, and now I can talk freely, Bud Crawford did all this talking about how giving people a chance. The fact that he won't fight this Jerron Ennis kid is just a travesty. I understand that Jerron Ennis ran from him, get out the WBO because he was scared of him. But if the kid said he want to fight, give him a fight.
Stop the bullshit. Stop with the bullshit.
He left the WBO.
He left the WBO and became the daggone IBF interim champion.
No, IBF offered him an interim belt. Why would he take it?
Hold on, real quick. Let me tell BBO a little bit about the sanctioning body. The man was ranked number 2 in the WBO.
Mm-hmm.
He left the WBO to become the IBF interim champion, which means it guarantees him a shot at the undisputed champion, whoever it might be. So how you saying he ran if Terrence Crawford is the undisputed champion?
And
because you got to remember,
he ran to get a guaranteed spot. That's what he ran to.
and this what happened. This what
and
happened.
by
This what
rule,
happened.
once you get a belt by any sanctioning body, the other sanctioning bodies drop you out of their rankings automatically.
And the last point, and then I'm gonna let you cook, BVO. The last point is, out of all the sanctioning bodies, the one who is the most strict with upholding their mandatories is the IBF. That's a fact.
That's a fact. I give you that. But it's the thing I'm saying. He fought David Avocado, who was the 4th ranked fighter in the WBO. So if he would have said something,
he didn't pick
listen,
Boots.
if Boots would stop trying to be Mr. Nice Guy and told Terrence to go kick rocks, he could have got that fight. You heard
No,
him.
he didn't. He told Boots he had to come to BVO Prime.
You heard him on the Wallow show. Listen, you heard him on the listen. Let me finish. You heard him
after he had already got the Abenesian fight.
He told he told Boots, because I talked to Bozy about this. I know Boots and Bozy. I talked to Bozy about this. He told Boots the fight had to happen on BLK Prime. Bozy told him, we signed with Showtime. We can't fight on BLK Prime. That was the problem. Boots did not turn the fight down.
We seen on the Wallow show. We seen on the Wallow show where they called Bozy Ennis and they called Jerron Ennis. And Jerron Ennis was scared to death when he seen Terrence Crawford on the other line. I'm trying to tell you.
Talking about somebody was scared to death. You don't know what that man was. You don't know what that man was. You was scared to death when you saw Jerron Ennis got on the phone. That's who was scared to death.
BBO.
I was scared to death.
BBO.
Okay.
Go ahead, Crown.
If you ever have the pleasure or the honor to meet Bozy Ennis, he always has his phone on him. I'll ask him, take his phone out and show you the footage of Boots sparring 6'7" Russian heavyweights. That man ain't scared of nobody.
No, I'm gonna tell you
that dude he fought was a bum.
Another thing with that whole situation with Bud and Boots, which BBO probably don't know nothing about. The guy that called Bozy Ennis was a representative of BLK Prime. Terrence Crawford was only signed to one fight. They didn't even have Terrence Crawford under contract, so they couldn't guarantee him a fight with Bud Crawford. Bud Crawford never fought again on BLK Prime. BLK Prime never put on another fight.
Yeah,
so
I don't know.
How you saying he ran from somebody when they didn't even have a guarantee for him to get the fight?
Bud already had a deal with Showtime.
But Bud had already said this. Bud said, "You never called me out. You don't want to be honest here."
That's not true.
Boots never called. Boots
he
never
called
had
both of them out.
He never said Terrence's name.
He
Bud
said
that.
Earl.
No,
yes,
he did not. No, he did not.
I can show you video where Boots called him out multiple times.
Real quick. Just go to ISM Sports Media. Okay. The brother got a fantastic channel. I don't want to.
Jamil, you do have a good channel over there. Salute to Jamil from YSM.
Go check his channel out. You will see multiple times prior to the call happening where Bozy and Boots said that we want both of we want both of these guys.
Any champion, matter of fact, anybody for a belt.
Hold up, BBO. Do you remember when Boots said I'm better than Bud in every single aspect of boxing? He said I'm better than him in everything. He's not a real switch hitter. I will beat that man. So how you figure he didn't call him out?
He did.
He said they asked him. They said, "Who do you want?" He said, "I want Terrence Crawford. I want."
No, he said he want all the champions. That's what he said.
He said, "I want Terrence Crawford. I want Earl Spence. I want all those guys." Is what he said. His exact words.
We seen Terrence on the Wallow show say, "Well, you never said my name."
Terrence on the Wallow show. You said Boots never called him out. I'm telling you exactly what he said.
I'm telling you exactly what Bud said to Boots. He said you never.
But you said Bud said he never called him out, and I'm telling you that he did.
There's video of Boots saying it.
Hold on, let me ask a question. If an individual who's fighting at 147, right? If you say I want all the champions, Now this is before the titles were unified under Bud. This was before that.
Mm-hmm.
If he say I want all the champions, is Bud a champion?
You got to say his name.
Oh
Hold
man,
on.
sorry, hold on,
Can I ask
Hold
a
on.
question?
Hold on. I'm gonna tell.
I
Before
just
y'all go, before
one
you
thing.
go, let me say.
Say
See,
one
this the thing,
last
BBO.
thing.
BBO, I'm gonna tell you this.
Hold on.
I'm
I'm
gonna tell
gonna
you
say
this right
one
now,
last
BBO.
no, I gotta say this one last thing. This one
Go
last
ahead.
thing. Y'all keep with this whole you gotta say his name shit. And what we seen, there was times where niggas be like, man, Errol Spence, he called Crawford name, this, that, whatever. But when it was time to fight, he said the man name. When a champion call out or when a prospect call out the champions, that's saying your motherfucking name. If I say
Now, I
all,
got a question, BBO.
hold on. If I say I want all the champions right
You're
now,
right.
I want all the champions at 47. I'm only talking about one person. I'm talking about Bud. If two people got belts, I'm talking about them two. Stop with the nonsense, man. Y'all.
Hold on. Let me tell you. Let me tell you how much. Let me tell you how. Let me tell you how
You made
bad
your
y'all
point, man.
capping.
You made your
Hold
point.
on. Let me finish. Let me say this. Those points make good sense, but they don't because I've seen when they was putting up the champions before Errol got all three belts, they was not putting Bud Crawford up there. So at the end of the
What?
day, Showtime
What
acted
does
like
that
he
have
didn't
to do with
exist.
that?
Listen. So what I'm saying is, if you didn't know who the champions was, you wouldn't know he called Terrence out
No.
because
Listen,
Showtime.
what I'm gonna tell you. Listen, what I'm gonna tell you,
Hold on, real
BBO.
quick.
You won't let me
Let me
finish.
get my
You
question
won't let
off
me
real
finish.
quick.
You won't let me finish. You won't let me finish.
Because you're not
Let the
making
black man.
sense. You're not
Let the
making
black
sense.
man finish. Listen to me say this. The thing you got to understand is this: Terrence Crawford has shown you he will fight anybody.
Afro-Asiatic. You the Afro. You ain't no black. You Afro-Asiatic or something, ain't you? Respectfully.
Anyway, all I'm saying is this: Bud Crawford has shown you if you say his name, he's going to come beat you to death, and that's what he did to Errol. That's what he did to David Avocado.
Can I
Everybody
respond before you
demand
move the
for.
goalpost again?
Go ahead.
David Ebenezer never said his name.
Go ahead.
Can I respond now? Can I?
Go ahead.
All right. First of all, as everybody said that's not named BVO, there's actual YouTube footage of Jerron Edis saying Bud's name. So that's a myth. That myth is busted already. It's out there. But when you want to defend Bud, we also have footage of Bud. And he was just asked recently what he thought about fighting Boots. And he said, I'm not gonna lie, Boots does deserve a shot. But I'm looking for bigger fish right now. You know, I'm close to retiring. I know my time is close to being up. I got bigger fish to fry. I want Canelo or Charlo. Bud said, I don't want Boots. I want big money. That was Bud.
And I will say,
And let me say this real quick. So if Dub Rightside say, I want to debate those guys on rolling with the punches, you gonna say he not talking about me? He talking about D Free?
If
No,
he don't
you
say my
gonna say
name, if he don't say my name, it don't
he
count.
said I want those guys. It's only two of us, nigga. It's only two of us. It's only two. So he's talking about me and
You moving the goalpost, Free.
the
Go ahead.
mental gymnastics is amazing. The way that y'all like to hop around these points and say that, oh, well, he didn't say it specifically. He only said he wanted the champions. Well, hell, who was the champions? Those the people he's talking about. If
I'm gonna
Bud
tell you.
is the champion, then that's one of the people you're talking about.
Which
Let's
goes
let, let's
back to
let's stop the cavalier nonsense. Okay, and let's be germane about the point. Let's stick to what we're talking about. This is ridiculous. This makes no sense. It's almost like D Free just said. It's only two of y'all on there, and if I say I want them guys, it's both of y'all. It's both of y'all.
hold on though. You fight a losing battle, man. I told y'all earlier. You trying to make sense with somebody, and where he's coming from is like a woman who's defending her man. She don't have a need to make sense.
Hold on.
He just gonna move the goalposts.
Hold on. This is the thing about it. I understand you being Puerto Rican, you want to go at the black man. I get it, but I'm gonna say this because unlike you, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna just say this. I
you
just
going
know
at
in
the black
boxing.
man right now.
I'm gonna say
I'm
this.
all the way black. I ain't no nothing in me. I'm all the way black, and I'm going at the black man right now. Well,
Last time I checked,
Pointed
Last
that.
time I
You
checked,
might be a
last
West
time,
Indian.
last time I checked, Boots was black. You going at the black man right now?
Listen, I don't know that Boots is black. He might be a West Indian.
Man,
And don't
I don't
listen.
know that you
But let
black.
me.
I don't know that you
I
black.
know him. He's black.
Okay, let me finish. Y'all keep cutting me off. This is the thing
Real
about
quick,
it.
real quick,
We
real
already
quick.
know. We already know that Boots
Hold
and
on, BL, you know what you didn't say?
what's that?
When we were talking about Oscar and Canelo and Ryan, and you ain't bring up none of oh, they might no. Okay, we see where your allegiance lies, brother. We see what
BBO's Mexican.
Hold on. Let me
you got to
I want y'all to see that background. My two favorite fighters have always been Floyd Joy Mayweather Jr. and Oscar De La Hoya the Golden Boy. Those have been my two favorite fighters my whole
But
life.
you got Muhammad Ali and Elijah Muhammad on your screen.
What are you talking about?
You forgot to put Jamel up there. You forgot to put Jamel up there.
Jamel actually Jamel before he stole this money was actually my favorite fighter. I know y'all try to tie me to Tio. It's almost like when they try to say that Skip Bayless was pushing for Tim Tebow. It wasn't true. He wasn't. He wasn't. He was just saying he could play. And I'm telling
they made
you,
a whole song on highlights of him saying Tebow's name.
Damn, Tebow was pathetic.
all I can say is this: you can't look at any live, and BBO's been on YouTube almost a year. Out of everybody that see me on you cannot tie me to no fighter because I am unbiased. I don't have a favorite fighter.
You biased to Tio.
Definitely tie you to fighters. I can tie you to multiple fighters.
No, you cannot. No, you cannot.
No,
I'm
I'm going to right here. Since I can't do it, I'm going to right here.
No, you cannot. Let me
I
finish.
can tie you to Ryan Garcia. I watched you, and shit, my brother. This is how I met crime.
Bet me on Ryan Garcia.
I was just about to say, this is how I met crime. We was over at Manager Marty's spot. This is how I met crime. I listened to you talk all type of wildness about Ryan Garcia, and I can't tie you to Ryan Garcia.
You cannot tie me to Ryan Garcia. I just thought the Silver Champion had more for Tank.
Amazing.
I didn't realize that Tank will put people in this camp. I didn't know that Ryan had a rib injury.
Man, here we go with this. BBO, don't do this to yourself. Don't do this to yourself.
I didn't know Joe Goosen would give such a pathetic performance as a trainer. Because I guarantee you this: the Ryan Garcia.
You said Joe Goosen was the X factor.
You told me he was the goods.
I was wrong. See, I can admit when I'm wrong.
You still wrong.
No, do you? Hey, BBO, can I say something real quick? You do realize all of those things that you just named was things that Ryan paid for. He paid for the sparring partner. He paid for Joe Goosen. Those were things that Ryan paid for.
Okay, this is what I'm saying. But I want to see what y'all say about Ryan Garcia. Now he's under DJ. Who probably is the second best coach in
the
boxing.
Fight ain't gonna change.
Be the second best coach in boxing, probably behind, in my opinion. I don't know if you guys look at like my man Sugar Man from out of the Crunk Gym. I think Sugar, Eddie Reynoso, and DJ are the best teachers in boxing. So I think with Derek James, you're going to see a different Ryan Garcia. You might see a Ryan Garcia that in 2-3 years when he fight Tank again, he might stop it. But at the end of the day, we're going to see because Ryan just didn't have a coach like DJ to get all those skills together.
Ryan get fucked up again, bro.
Hey, that coach wouldn't have took that chin shot for him, and that coach wouldn't have took that liver shot for him. If you brought Eddie Futch from the dead, it wasn't going to help him take them shots.
And the thing is when it comes to Tank and Ryan, I really don't believe it matters who's training Ryan. There's certain characteristics of Ryan that makes him susceptible, especially to black fighters. And quickness. Hold on, real quick. Quickness. That they're gonna use, the footwork that they're gonna utilize. You know what I'm saying? The boxing ability and IQ that they utilize.
The fact that he can't get his head off the line and eat straight left hands from everybody that throws him.
But I listened to Tank before the fight say he looking for the left hook, and I watched Tank during the fight avoid the left hook. You feel me?
All he got.
And then as he proceeded to do that, the one thing BBO, I gave you credit. I said, you know what? Maybe Ryan under Joe Gooseman maybe he was able to improve his jab. You know what I'm saying? If he's able to utilize his jab much more, set his punches up, then he may have a chance. At the end of the day, I picked Tank to win the fight. And the thing is what we saw was you say that it was Joe Guzman giving bad instruction or not giving enough instruction, whatever. No, it was the renegadeness of Ryan to say, damn it, I don't even need to be here. We done heard what Eddie Reynoso told us. They had to kick his ass out the motherfucking gym. Why? Because the motherfucker didn't show up at the gym. And so, I mean,
I thought you was done.
No, last thing. All I'm saying is that when we looking at these fighters, you look at these habits, and it seems, BVO, it seems, with all the information that was provided earlier to you, you still pick Ryan and you betted on him. It seemed like you do have somewhat of a biasness toward the Hispanic fighter, and I'm not mad at that. I'm just saying.
You said I'm against the Hispanic fighter?
No, you like Spanish fighters.
You have a biasness toward the Hispanic fighter.
I'll tell you what it is. He does. I'll tell you exactly what it is. Because BVO like to see rock'em sock'em robots. He like for you to stand in the ring and just throw blows. That's what he like. He don't like you.
Hold on, before we go too far, can I get my comment about that out?
Go ahead, my brother.
Something else now. But I broke down the fight on BVO between Tank and Ryan. We all had our chance, and I broke down the fight beforehand.
I heard you.
And I told BVO, I said, listen, old habits die slow. I don't care what trainer he brings in. He holds his chin up in the air and drops his right hand anytime he throws his left. He's susceptible to left hands. He was the first day he turned pro. All these years later, he still is. I don't care who he brings in. It's not going to change. I even gave an example. I came up in the gym with a guy by the name of Carl the Truth Williams. Fought Larry Holmes for the heavyweight title. I feel he got robbed. But then he got stopped by Mike Weaver and Mike Tyson with left hooks. Why? He carried his right hand low. He was susceptible to left hooks. Guys who have defects like that, it doesn't change. They could bring Gandhi in to train Ryan Garcia. It does not matter. He's going to be susceptible to left hands, and Tank just so happens to have one of the best in the business. You can bring whoever you want. When Tank touches his chin with a left hand, the fight is going to end.
Well, I'm going to say this. We're not going to bring up a piece of trash like Gandhi who called black people subhuman. But I'm going to say this. When you talk about boxing in general, what you see with Ryan Garcia, I was fooled by his gifts. He's tall. He's long. Pause. He's one of those guys who looked a lot like Oscar De La Hoya. I just assumed that Ryan had a better mindset because I don't know if y'all realize this, but Tank's day is coming because Tank gets hit a lot because Tank want to get you out of there. One day he's going to try to get somebody out of there.
Hit anymore than Devin does. Devin gets hit statistically more than Tank.
Yeah, now Tank.
But nobody pays attention to that.
What I'm saying is Tank take big blows to get where he wants to go. But let me say this. Let me say this before you go, Doug. Let me say this before you go.
I want to add on to the point you made real quick. The thing is I love Devin. Statistically speaking, Tank is a hell of a defensive fighter. Hell of a defensive fighter. Go ahead. My apologies.
No, what I'm saying, just in a nutshell, is when you see a guy like Ryan Garcia with those kind of gifts, when he gets in there with Tank, that's what usually will beat Tank. A long, strong.
How's that usually would beat him, and nobody has beat him? And
I'm talking about his style.
His problems.
His only tough fight came against a short guy.
Listen.
So how do you say that's what beats him?
He never that. If you telling the Eastside Cruz fight was tough, how? He beat him with one hand.
But that was still his toughest fight.
His toughest fight was against Gamboa.
That's a problem. That's a problem. If Pitbull Cruz is Tank's toughest fight, that's a problem.
No. I didn't say he was the best fighter he fought. Don't twist my words.
I just said if that was.
What I'm saying is,
the reason why it was his toughest fight because he's only had one hand. That's why it was his toughest fight. He was most uncomfortable.
To the sixth round, man. The sixth round.
I say he was it was his toughest fight because he was the most uncomfortable in that fight. But of course, Tank has beat better fighters.
That's the first time Tank ever faced somebody that was smaller than him, and he only had one hand.
And the guy was strong.
But he didn't break his hand until what? The seventh round?
No, it was the fourth round.
It was the fourth
It
round.
was
He broke his
7th
finger.
round, man.
It was
Definitely
the 4th round. Isak Cruz is the one that actually came out and told the round because they asked him if he knew that Tank hurt his hand. He said yes, he did it in the 4th round. I noticed.
No,
Go
well,
back and look at the post-fight interview.
he didn't stop throwing it to about the 6th. So
But I'm
Yeah,
gonna say this.
but Isak Cruz is the one that said,
no. I'm okay with that. I'm okay. I'm not disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing at all. I'm just saying from what I saw. From what I saw.
and I will say this,
It's cool.
as someone has banged his hand up before,
Say it
you
again.
can hurt your hand early and it get progressively worse in the fight too.
True, but
Adrenaline will help you a lot early.
but this is the thing. This is the thing. I'm not trying to take nothing away from Tank. I'm not. I ain't trying to. My problem, and I've been very consistent with my only problem with Tank
What's that?
is that the man, in my opinion, he not fighting the best competition.
But he hasn't been controlling his competition, but for one fight now.
But this is the problem. This is the problem. So okay, so you, in your opinion, you want to blame Mayweather, Leonard Ellaby. You want to say they were the problem.
I'm not even going to blame them because what I'm going to say is this. They did what they needed to do to make their fighter the biggest star in the game. Right? Hold on. I'm going to answer you.
I know where you're going, and I agree with you. I agree with it.
I'm going to bring it on home.
I want to ask you a question.
All right.
Are you satisfied with the people Tank have fought?
No, but his career is not over. See, y'all buy into this narrative. Hold on, let me finish. Everybody's buying into this narrative that the rival network put out there that is too late. Like he should have already fought these guys. What's wrong with now?
Floyd did. Floyd already did that.
Hold on. Let me finish, please.
Actually, no, he didn't.
Hold on, please. Let me finish. What's wrong with the model they use for Tank that said before we have these fights that they're going to get underpaid for? Why not make our guy the biggest star in boxing and then go make the mega fights the way it's more financially beneficial to both parties? That's good business.
Right. But
y'all got 35.
Y'all got also remember Tank Davis became a pay-per-view star before Floyd did. Floyd didn't become a pay-per-view star until after he fought Oscar De La Hoya.
Because he didn't have Floyd. He didn't have a Floyd controlling his career. You know what I mean?
Let me read this comment real quick. That's the point we making. Let me read this comment. My man Bruce Gass said, how did Brian Mendoza as a WBC interim champion get a shot at a WBO champion, Tim Tszyu, who is a WBO champ, when they're not supposed to rate other divisions belt holders? Rules mean nothing.
Yeah,
man, the boxing scholar said
Charlo wasn't available.
He said right side equals CJ Ross.
Who is CJ?
Charlo wasn't available, and the WBC wanted a big fight. They wanted a big fight.
And let's be real. You're right. They wanted a big fight because the bigger the purse, the bigger they get because they get a percentage. Number one. Number two, if you paid any attention to boxing, the WBC is the most corrupt sanctioning body over the last 40 years, bar none.
That's cap.
It's not.
I'm going to tell you this. You would. Listen.
The father was paid to step down for taking bribes from Don King. It's facts.
Listen. That was a lie. That was a lie.
No, it was not.
That was a lie. The thing is this: the one belt that favors us.
It's facts that Don King could not promote in New Jersey for like 20 years while Mike Tyson stopped fighting in Atlantic City.
Witch hunt.
That was a witch hunt. No,
those people in Atlantic City. That was a witch hunt, and it was a witch hunt.
No, it was because Bob Arum got caught making bribing the IBF, and Don King got caught bribing the WBC. Both of them got, not just Don King. Bob Arum got banned from Atlantic City too. Bob Arum was just willing to go to the steps to become relicensed in Atlantic City, and Don King was not. But both of them got in trouble, and the reason they got in trouble was because Don King was bribing Bob Lee of the IBF, and the WBC was being paid off by Don King. Period. Everybody knew it.
Jose Suleiman and Don King were great friends, and Don King never bribed anyone.
Well, I advise you to look into some of Senator McCain's bills,
especially
why Don King had to go to Vegas.
It was a witch hunt. That's what you're missing, Crown.
It wasn't a witch hunt.
It wasn't. If it was a witch hunt, then why did they kick out Cedric Kushner and Bob Arum at the same time too?
But this is the thing. You got to realize the time era it was in. It wasn't a witch hunt. This was the norm.
So,
This respect.
somebody
But
snitched,
listen,
bro.
right side. This is the thing you missing. Right side. Listen, hear me
There
out.
was
Hear me
an
out.
informant
This is the only belt
which prompted,
before Jose's son got into this.
and
The
through the federal
WBC.
investigation,
Listen, the
they were found.
WBC favored black fighters because they favored black fighters. They came up with this whole witch hunt. There's all these lies and
Oh,
tried
you're
to
right.
say,
You're right.
listen,
You're right, BBO. They favor black fighters and Latino fighters. Why? Because all the major black and Latino fighters were signed to Don King. He owned them. Everybody
him
in
and
boxing
Jose were
knows that
good.
Don
Him
King
and
owned
Jose
Jose
were good
Sulaiman.
friends. Jose
He
Sulaiman,
owned
him and
him.
Don King were great friends.
How'd they
The
become good
fact,
friends? Don King from Ohio, Jose from Mexicali. How they become good friends? Through Don King paying for championship fights. That's how.
I love
Man,
how
hey,
you
real
view
quick,
that.
I'm finna be out for the night, man. Hey, be free. I appreciate you. You know, y'all know what it is. My brother Crown Jewel as well, man. Much love to
Appreciate
all
you.
y'all. I'm out for the night, man. But I'm gonna tap back in with y'all, and we'll be back. I will tell you, I wasn't gonna call the guy. I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't gonna get into it. But I wasn't gonna call the Charlo Jamel fight. I will call the next pay per view over here, and then we will be back rocking, man. So appreciate
All
All
y'all
right.
right, that's about.
love and respect, and y'all do y'all thing.
All right.
Salute,
All right,
man.
bro. Have a
Take
good
care,
one.
bro.
No, I understand you like Don King BBO, but the man is not perfect. He did some shady shit in the
I
sport of
love
boxing,
Don.
Oh
and
my
he got caught.
Listen.
He got caught.
I'm gonna tell
God.
y'all, right? Personal friends
Yeah.
of mine and stablemates that were promoted by Don King. I love Don.
Mhm.
Virgil Hill won world titles with Don King. Levander
Mhm.
Johnson fought for 2 world titles with Don King from my hometown. My sparring partner's dad was my trainer. Bruce Seldon, first heavyweight champion, first world champion from Atlantic City, Don King. So I love Don, but I'm not gonna lie. Don owned the WBC at one time, basically, and
No,
everybody
it's
knew it.
no. That's public knowledge.
And
Everybody knows that in the
Beyond
sport of
that,
boxing.
I brought up my friend Levander Johnson, right? My sparring partner, his father trained me. He was the IBF lightweight champion eventually. You know what his first title shot came against when he only had 20 fights?
Cool.
WBC.
WBC.
Basically, what I'm saying is this. This is the thing you don't want to realize. Atlantic City is one of the most corrupt boxing towns in history. They've been known when they had ties from the mob in the 30s, they were fixing fights. And I know you're from Atlantic City, but I'm trying to tell you, those councilmen, that was a witch hunt. They
We
just
talk
wanted
no,
to.
listen.
Oh,
Do
I
you realize
understand. It was
first of all, I'm gonna educate you real quick. The way New Jersey works, right? The city of Atlantic City has nothing to do with the casinos nor boxing. That's state run, straight out of Trenton. Lang City has nothing to do with it, just happens to be a place that happened. The councilmen here are not even allowed to be involved. Anything in the tourism district, that's number one. We just have Larry Hazard, who's one of the strictest commissioners in the country. And that's the reason why he was blew up. Oh, let's not forget, Larry Hazard is Muslim and a black man. And that's who banned Don King from Jersey. It wasn't a white man, number one. Number two, Atlantic City City Council is almost all black. Atlantic City's mayor is black. So trust me, they didn't ban Don King because he was black. Don King was ousted by blacks. Don King's assistant, who was a black man, named Sylvester. I know all these people because I fought in New Jersey. I used to work for Larry Hazard for the Boxing Commission. He told that Larry Hazard knew that a fighter with a brain bleed was fighting, and he turned his head. That's what blew Larry Hazard up. But what blew Don up is when Larry Hazard decided to clean up all the corruption in Atlantic City and take attention off the fact that he maybe let somebody fight with a brain bleed. And so Bob Arum got caught by the FBI, and so did Don King. Had nothing to do with the color of their skin, had to do with the fact that there was an informant. And once one got popped, well, shit. Well, he's paying the WBC. I paid the IBF, but he's paying the WBC. And they all got
Don King wrote about him in his book, and Don King specifically said that when he would not give him a slice of the cake, all of a sudden he got charges brought up against him.
okay.
So what
All
I'm
right. Well,
trying to
the
say,
charges were brought up by the FBI, not Atlantic City. That's another thing. Atlantic City just revoked his license because of the FBI's charges. The charges didn't start here. The
what I'm saying is, Don King wrote extensively about how dirty Atlantic City is and
of
how
course
they
he's going to
always.
say that.
No,
But
you think he's going to tell on himself?
not only that, hold on. You
Go
say
ahead.
that. Do you know that from then till now, Don King still has a turkey drive in Atlantic City from back in those Tyson days that still goes on every year that he does with the politicians in Atlantic City now? Number one. Number two, in the early 2000s, do you know that Don King got a temporary license and came back and promoted fights in Atlantic City again?
I'm not saying.
Hold on.
He hasn't. Go ahead.
Hold on. And I'm gonna tell you why he know he's wrong. Like I said, I love Don, but what's real is what's real. He applied for a temporary license. They let him put on William Joppy, Bernard Hopkins, that whole card at Boardwalk Hall. And what happens is when you apply for a license, they give you a conditional approval pending your background check. He promoted the fight. The day after the fight, he withdrew his application for a promoter's license in the state of New Jersey, so they couldn't finish their background check to see if he had cleaned himself up to get his license again. Don King knew he was dirty. He played the system, which is why, like I said, he only applied for a temporary license. As soon as they were going to complete his background check, he said, never mind, I don't want a license there no more.
The whole thing is, even if it was a witch hunt, they found the evidence they was looking for, and they caught him.
For the two top promoters in the game, not just Don, Bob Arum and Don.
They found the evidence they were looking for, and they caught him.
That's actually what's brought about the Ali Act for fighters, was the attention that Don and Bob Arum got for the crookedness they were doing from the FBI and John McCain. That had nothing to do with Atlantic City. New Jersey, like I said, is just strict, and they said, oh, if you're in trouble in any state in America, you can't apply. That they even like that with fighters here. New Jersey, one of the few states, if you owe child support, you can't fight here.
That's the truth too, man.
You can't.
But I'm just saying what Don said in his book. He had nothing but horrible things to say about Atlantic City. He talked about the witch hunt, and he talked about how they had
to say that.
What Don King said, I'm gonna just put it like this. I'm gonna make it simple. Don King said because he was a successful black man that made black billionaires, Atlantic City didn't like it, and they did everything they can to conspire against him. That's what Don King said in his book.
Atlantic City was in its heyday with Don King and Donald Trump. What happened was, again, that FBI indictment, and Don King promoted fights at Atlantic City casinos at Trump properties. No other properties, Trump properties. Mm-hmm. What happened was Trump went into bankruptcy in Atlantic City, and Don King got in trouble. So there was no way for him to come back to Atlantic City. You're right. Atlantic City had a horrible time in boxing because the whole play was given to Donald Trump and Don King. Donald Trump went bankrupt, and Don King lost his license. How is that Atlantic City's fault?
The thing is, BBO, you can't just take one side of the story. You got to investigate.
And Don King's a pimp. All of the sides. He got the best mouthpiece in the business.
I wouldn't dare say a family man like Don King's a pimp. Now, if you're talking about Bill Haney, that's a different story.
Oh, you know that family man that did time for manslaughter? That's the one you're talking about? And got mob ties? Hold on.
You said the man that was married 51 years, right? Yeah, the family man.
Hold on. You said the family man, right?
Yeah.
See, you don't want to debate me about Don King because I know just too much about him. All right,
that's what I'm saying.
Hold on.
He didn't do 40 months in federal prison.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Do you know how Don King got started in boxing?
Yes.
How?
You tell me. I'm gonna let you tell me because you making a point. Tell me how he got started in boxing.
There was a boxing promoter that's still living by the name of Don Elbaum out of Ohio.
Yeah,
little small white guy.
The hospital.
Like what happened was Don King bum rushed his office at gunpoint and told Don Elbaum, "You're going to teach me how to be a boxing promoter. I'm going to give you $10,000, but you can't leave until we have a deal done." I got this from Don Elbaum himself. Me and him did George Foreman's brother Roy's podcast together.
Mm-hmm.
He said Don made it clear to him, "I'm going to give you 10 grand, but I'm kidnapping you. You can't leave your office until we have a deal done." He said over the weekend they got a deal done. he was forced to run Don's company for him for the first couple years. And he said then, because of how charismatic Don was and all the money he walked around with and stuff, how he can make things move and shake in the streets, that he was going to be the biggest promoter in the history of boxing. Why?
What you became.
Yeah, he did, and I give him that. But why? Because it took a street smart, slick, mob-tied guy to be that, and that's exactly what Don was.
And you know what's funny? And I love you, Jules. This is the thing you missing. Don King was a family man who was married for over 51 years to his beautiful wife. Don King has given away.
Two things can be true at the same time.
Listen, Don King has given away, like you just said, giving away turkeys, giving away jewelry, took care of Muhammad Ali, took care of Larry Holmes. He's done nothing but good in boxing. And
you know what else he's done? You know what else he's done? He has almost a standard practice. His multimillionaires, and I can tell you, I know this is true because I heard Zab Judah come out and say the exact same number to my friend. Matter of fact, me and him were brother-in-laws at one time. Virgil Hill gave me the same exact debt Don left him with. He has a habit. He habitually pays guys parts of their deal and leaves just about every one of them $1.2 million short. All of them. Zab will tell you he owes him 1.2. Virgil Hill will tell him he owes him 1.2. A whole lot of other people tell you he owes him 1.2. Why? Because he's such a shrewd businessman. He knows it's going to cost them about $750,000 to $800,000 to even fight that. So they're not going to go after the 1.2. So he'll pay them up until a point where he knows it's not advantageous for them to go to court, and he stops paying them. That's a great man.
I like how you just destroyed one of the greatest boxers.
I love him. I love him. But here's the thing. What you got to say is he's smart like all these politicians and senators. They know the law so well that they're going to make it work for them. And some people are going to get screwed in the process. But I'll tell you this. Although he screwed Virgil, and this is my friend, although he screwed him out of 1.2, Virgil won't say nothing bad about him, though. You know why? Because he knows I wouldn't have made the other 10 I made if it wasn't for Don.
So what do you think about this, Free? You've been kind of quiet on this issue, man. What you think about the great Don King getting slandered by
He dropped off.
Well, I mean, he's 90-something years old now.
No, I was asking I said what you think about this Free about crime, about Jules just totally disrobing one of the greatest men boxing we've seen.
I already know Don King was a crook in the sport of boxing. That's what he
I forgot to tell you too. My friend,
he was known to be a crook. It wasn't that wasn't something that was made up. He was known to be a crook. The man went to jail for manslaughter, or he got arrested for manslaughter
and racketeering.
And racketeering. The man was known to be a crook. Now, we're not saying that he didn't do nothing good in the sport of boxing, but he was known to be a crook.
He made more millionaires than anybody, but he wasn't the Boy Scout while he was doing it.
No, you can't. And I tell you this all the time. It's okay if one say it. You might say, okay, he lying. But when multiple people saying the same thing, it can't all be a lie. Something of some part of that got to be true. It might not be all true, but some part of it is true.
BVO.
So,
yeah.
You said you brought up my guy, dear friend of mine. Like I said, his stepson I still talk to this day. Matthew Saad Muhammad.
Yeah.
He definitely told me Don stole from him.
Yeah. But
so did Tim. I'm talking about guys that told me to my face. So did Tim Witherspoon. So did Levander Johnson.
But didn't he pay for his mother to have surgery?
Huh?
That's the thing I'm saying.
No. But hear me out. I also said I didn't say he didn't do no good stuff. He's done good for him too, which is why most of them they'll tell you just like that. Don screwed me out of this amount of money, but he treated me better than any other promoter I ever dealt with.
Do you know back in the early 80s, there was a lot of big time drug dealers that used to put on turkey drives. They used to help the community, but they sold a lot of drugs in the community.
Yeah.
They sold a lot of drugs. So they did good, but they did a lot of bad as well.
Yep.
So that just because they did good doesn't mean that they all good. They did some good, but they also did some bad too.
Everybody's good and bad. But like I said, Don has been giving out turkeys in Atlantic City since '88, and he ain't made $1 here in over 20 years. That's facts.
Yeah. It's just rough to see you tear him apart like that, Joe.
No, I just had to tell the truth. I have to. But you'll also hear me say he's the greatest promoter in the history of the sport. There wouldn't be millions in boxing without Don King. Don King found a way to get George Foreman and Muhammad Ali $5 million. He found a way to get Joe Frazier and Muhammad Ali $5 million. There have been millions in boxing ever since. So but here's the thing. I got to look at your life in totality. Just because you did some things wrong, I can't throw your accomplishments in the trash. The same way, I can't look past your faults just because you got some accomplishments. We gotta look at the whole picture.
Yeah. I ain't never say Don King wasn't a good promoter. He was a hell of a promoter, but he was also a crook.
I got his lawyer right now. His current lawyer now. I got his number in my phone. Carl Lewis. That's Don King's lawyer.
Yeah, that's true. It is.
Matter of fact, I was talking to somebody. I was talking to a guy. I can't remember his name. He was on Thomas show. We did an interview with him. They call him the commish. They call him the commish. He was a commissioner for New York City.
You talking about Randy Gordon?
Yes. And he was talking about Don King, and he was telling us some of the stories that Don King used to do. He was like, man, Don King did a lot of good shit, but that nigga Don King, he was like, Don King also did a lot of shady shit too.
Did you hear what Don said? How he was able to win Muhammad Ali over from Bob Arum?
Yeah.
How was it?
I mean, I think he paid Muhammad Ali.
No.
What the fuck
what he would do, he would have him walk into a room, open a dresser drawer full of money, and grab as much as he can grab with one handful. He can only take one handful. He said, and that always intrigued Ali, because sometimes he can get up to $30,000, $40,000 in one hand, and he get to keep whatever he dug in the drawer. Just answer.
My grandmother used to do that shit to me.
I'm just saying though, just answer me this. What kind of businessman you think got drawers full of cash money?
You think that's Jews, man. You cold. Jews, you cold.
I'm just saying. And Don is the one that said, I could always get Ali because I play a game with him. I let him reach in the drawer full of money and see how much money he can take out.
Man, this is my man Choose right here.
He's a no good, lousy son of a bitch. Hey. That's exactly what he is. Is a no good.
You rough
will borrow money from Don so often that about time he fights, he don't even know how much he's supposed to make. And Joe Frazier also said this to me too. He said he never will borrow money or take extra tickets. Because the thing about this is this, and Joe Frazier told me this. He said, Don King, if you're fighting for him, anything you're asking for, you're going to get. He's not going to tell you no. And you're going to think it's a gift. And then when you get your paperwork when you fight, you're going to see a deduction for everything you asked him for the entire camp.
Yeah. you know the funny thing about it, man. I never. What I want to do, man, one day, and I think this would be good for us. I want to sit down, man, with you, brother, and break down some of these stories on Don, man, because you really told me some stuff I didn't even know about Don. I would love to hear more about that.
Did you see Richard Hall when he talked to my friend Bruce Seldon?
Hey, BBO, I gotta get out of here real quick, but I'll catch up with you a little bit later.
All right, take care, bro.
Peace, free.
All right, man. All right, Drew.
Yeah, Richard Hall talked about stopping Michael Nunn in camp when Don King had him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And nobody knew who Richard Hall was. So he said Don King had him come to his office in Miami. He said, listen, send that guy over here, whoever it is, that keeps stopping Michael Nunn. So Richard Hall says, I'm waiting in the reception area with the secretary for Don to call me in his office. While I'm waiting, Bruce Seldon walks in, who from Atlantic City, used to be the heavyweight champ of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Walks in, goes into Don's office, comes out. He said Don comes out with him. He says, told the secretary, write him a check for $50,000. She writes him a check for $50,000. Bruce leaves. He takes Richard Hall in his office and says, I guarantee that nigga don't know how much money he owes me. So that's how a lot of them end up short too, because they borrow money. And then when fight time comes, Don is like, all right, well, I gave you $50,000 this day, I gave you $100 over here, and it's coming off the top.
Hey, Boxer
and
Scholar.
you're still paying taxes on the money that I'm taking back.
Hey, Boxer Scholar, what you think about my man Crows Jews just trashing Don King like
I'm
this?
not
What you think
trashing him.
about
He's
that?
still the
Man,
greatest promoter ever, but he ain't no Boy Scout.
I mean, we either gonna have it one or two ways, right? Because I hear this out of boxing fans all the time, right? They'll sit here and champion Dana White. Dana White and Don King ain't no fucking difference. Them
No,
UFC
Dana White is worse than Don King.
exactly, but they
Worse.
get the good fights though, right?
Yeah, but here's the thing, and this is
Don
what I
King
say
gave us
about
all them
fights.
good fights in the
Yeah,
'90s, bro.
no, but the difference with Don King is this, though. That you can't compare him to Dana White. Because Don gave us good fights, but he also made millionaires. Dana White is jerking them guys, man.
Oh, bro, you get no argument. Fuck Dana White. I'm just saying though.
Dana White got Don King beat 10 times over. Let me tell you. I spent my last 2 fights training with MMA fighters. And like we would cross train and stuff. And when I realized what they were making in comparison to what boxers make, Dana White is a crook. Like
yeah,
Don
you
King
should have gave him an Amazon warehouse application. That's what you should have did. But yeah, but what I'm saying that with that though, bro, is the narrative is the UFC get the good fights and boxing don't, correct?
That's the narrative for sure.
That's the narrative. They talked all this shit with Don King when he was around. You gotta remember this too. A lot of Don King criticism come because the media didn't like him because he had one strike against him being black. The other strike against him was he took Mike Tyson from that guy.
And he took Muhammad Ali from Bob Arum, and he was just too flamboyant, too flashy, and probably a little too well spoken for their liking.
Exactly. He wasn't doing nothing no different. They was all fucking they fighters.
Oh no. Boxing is the most. There's people in boxing that make Don King like a saint. Believe me. You know what I mean? And Don King still is the best promoter in the history of boxing, yes. But there's none of them that are squeaky clean. Why do you think they hate Al Heyman so much?
I know why they hate Al Heyman.
You know why they hate him so much?
Because he's black?
He actually exposed, beyond that, he actually exposed how much money's in boxing. The promoter's been making this big money. Yeah. But when they start seeing what he was paying Floyd and Pacquiao and now Canelo, and they're like, damn, where was this money going before? And that's why Bob Arum and them tried to file a lawsuit against him saying he had a monopoly and they couldn't compete with him. He's overpaying fighters. He's not overpaying fighters. He's not cheating the fighters like y'all were. He's letting the fighters get the bulk of the money because they're the fighters.
I'm gonna tell you guys something real quick. I'm gonna let my man Box Scholar cook. Do you guys know that Canelo came to Cleveland to meet Al Heyman? And well, they got what they I don't know, I think it's called Wahlburger. They got a Wahlburger, right? Mm-hmm. And you should have seen how, because Cleveland, one of the things about Cleveland, it's a lot of Spanish speaking Puerto Ricans here, like the whole West Side. So man, you should have seen all those people downtown just to see Canelo, who came to Cleveland to meet Al Heyman. So that's when I found out, well, Al Heyman shows you that you don't got to go nowhere. The business will come to you. That's the thing that's so cool about that. But go ahead, Boxing Scholar. My bad. Go ahead.
Man, I think boxing fans are fucking crazy, bro. I realize, you know what I mean, in just the last 2 years, you can't please them, bro. So like at one time, you know what I mean, they was complaining about Don King fucking the fighters. Then when the fighters start making money and start fighting each other, they start going in for payday. Now we can't get the fights we want. You gonna have one or the other, motherfucker. You can't have both, goddamn. You gotta make a decision what you want.
And you can't get mad at people for getting paid. I'm sorry. The boxing don't have a pension.
Facts. They ain't got no retirement, none of that shit.
Fighters living under the boardwalk or on the street somewhere, bumming a couch. You know what I mean? So you can't get mad at a fighter for getting paid, because shit, once that fight is over, it's over. Actually, one of my boys that owns a glove company just reached out to me. He wants to asked me to do a video, and I'm going to do it and bring him on about training former fighters to come back and be referees and judges, since the judges are so bad, and also give them a way to stay gainfully employed and a part of the sport.
Hey, but that might, I thought about that before too, because since we ain't got no retirement, just include them in the sport. But what if they start getting corrupt because they ain't got no money? What if somebody come in the back room, you know what I mean? Guys struggling, they bribe them.
Well, I don't think that's going to happen a whole lot. First of all, it would have happened when they was fighters. I don't think that the guys with the money respect them enough to even pay them. They'll just try to go around them. Number one. And number two, again, they won't be desperate if you pay them decent. You got judges and referees, the top ones, they're millionaires. You know what I mean? When you get to be a championship fight referee or judge, they negotiate their pay. They're not like everybody else.
And then I thought about this, bro. I didn't see Floyd Mayweather talk about fights. I don't want that motherfucker judging. He worse than CJ Ross.
Well,
that motherfucker Mayweather be like, man, it was a close fight. I had Canelo up in the Bivol fight.
Well, you got to remember, Floyd Mayweather is a promoter. He would never be a judge. And as a promoter, he's not going to give you an honest take on a fight. He's going to give you the best business take on the fight for himself. That's any promoter's going to do that. But theoretically, Floyd Mayweather's got hundreds of millions of dollars. He'd never be a judge anyway. The people who are going to be the judges are your fighters that can't feed themselves or turn up homeless. They're the ones that need a job. Those that retire millionaires, they're not going to be a judge. They'll more likely be a promoter. You know what I'm saying? They'll hire the judges.
Yeah. Hey, the thing that you're saying that's so crazy about it is really, I think boxing, man, got a weird thing going on because Al Heyman, they had a whole thing about him in the Wall Street Journal. And the thing I didn't even know, he was only guaranteeing like $500,000 $1 million. So well, I mean, like,
no, but that's smart. That's very smart. You know why?
Because of the back end. But I'm just saying.
But hold on. Beyond that, this is how the Terrence Crawford fight had to happen. This is why Bob Arum always had a problem with Terrence Crawford. And the problem was he wasn't smart enough like Al Heyman to fix the problem. He just complained about it. Bob Arum always complained that Terrence Crawford wouldn't go out and promote his own fights so that he could be more marketable and the fights could be bigger. Al Heyman knew how to make lazy fighters promote their own fights. I don't guarantee you any money. You only get paid off of what this promotion does. So your sales is going to be your pay. When you know that, it's a little easier for me to get you on a plane to go somewhere and promote the fight. Because you know if this fight flop, you don't get paid. But when you give a fighter guaranteed money, he going to tell you, fuck you, I'm staying in training camp. I ain't coming out to promote nothing. So Al Heyman put fighters in a position where they had to promote the fight themselves. So you want to make money, this fight's going to be as big as you make it. So you get on social media, you go on this 6-city tour, you do everything I need you to do to market this fight, and you'll make money. If not, you're going to get $500,000. It's smart.
Well, let me ask you this, Boxing Scholar. Do you think from what you go back like I do all the way to R.L. Sullivan, do you think that boxing can ever survive what's going on with the UFC by us still not getting the best fights and not having a unified like board to kind of get everything in order? What you think?
Oh yeah, absolutely. The business model of boxing is free market. The UFC, MMA in general, they trying to be like more like a socialist type of thing, and I think capitalism always worked. You know, boxing is the oldest sport in America. You know what I mean? I think it has bust and booms because it represents the free market. What happens is they just pointed our low point and be like, oh, I told you boxing dead. They've been saying boxing's dead since I've been alive. They were literally saying it right before Tyson came and took when Larry Holmes was doing this thing. They was kind of saying boxing was dead. So they always gonna point and say boxing dead. I don't think UFC fans are like either boxing or UFC. I think all the UFC fans are just people that would have been wrestling fans. I think they're taking all of those. That's why they're the fastest growing sport. They're not stealing boxing fans. They just taking the wrestling ones. That's why wrestling done died. That's why Vince McMahon hate Dana White because he took all of their fans. Because it's real. It's what they do, but real. Like I said, I was watching somebody leave the arena after a fight, and he took one of the fans' beer and started drinking. I'm like, hold up, man, that's Stone Cold Steve Austin movie right there.
Yeah. Well, listen.
Go ahead.
One of the reasons that MMA is rising as fast as it can is because it's allowed legally to do things the boxing's not allowed to do. It is illegal for boxing promoters and sanctioning bodies to have relationships with each other. Per Congress. But in the UFC, Dana White can own the sanctioning body and the promotion company. He owns the belt and the promotion. It's all one. That's illegal in boxing. Of course, it's easy for me to make all the big fights. I'm the only sanctioning body. Oh, I also happen to be the promoter. I'm the judge, executioner, and the jury. Boxing doesn't have that. Boxing has independent promoters, independent sanctioning bodies, and then a governing body in the commissions that's not allowed to have a relationship with anybody. So nobody in boxing is really allowed to have personal relationships with anybody, but somehow they got to work together and make this thing work. On the flip side, Dana White can come up with his a multifaceted company, which is really a monopoly, and embody all of that, and everybody turns their head. So it's just an unfair advantage. But even in that, he's still getting his ass kicked by boxing. How do I say that? What is the highest purse a boxer ever made in one night? I don't know, $350 million in Floyd Mayweather? You think an MMA fighter ever made that before without coming to boxing? Absolutely not.
I take you one up and say MMA's biggest purse is when they came over to boxing.
Yeah, always. Not to mention, they got guys that fight in title fights in MMA that make with guys fighting boxing in their pro debut. So it's just a totally different formula, way different.
And then they got the illusion. See, wrestling fans, man, I hate to say this because I used to be a wrestling fan, but they dumb, bro. They dumb. The sport is definitely fake. It's set up, and they still be cheering and booing. You look in that audience, you see kids, but you see mostly adults. So what that tells me is if the wrestling fans are crossing over to UFC, like they don't question anything. Like they kind of like goldfish at that point. So Dana White gives them the illusion that he's making the best fights, but they're all under his company. And then when they leave and go to Championship One or what Bellator or whatever, he acts like they don't exist, even if they were champions in his sport. So it's like, okay, right now the biggest fight. Yeah, I'm a casual UFC fan, right? The biggest fight they could make is Francis Ngannou versus John Jones. That fight is not happening. I don't hear nobody doing all that shit they was doing for Bud and Spence. Oh, this is why the sport is dead. We can't get the fights we want. Nobody's calling nobody a duck. None of that shit because the fans got a little bit more sense than boxing fans. They more loyal to their sport. See, the boxing fans, they fucking they go with the wind. They go with whatever's hot. They go and like.
Hold on. Don't just blame the fan though, because everybody wants to blame the fan. But where does that attitude come from? It comes from inside boxing when you have haters as promoters who are losing now, like Oscar De La Hoya and Bob Arum, who push that narrative to the fans.
But hold up, look, I tell you this is why I say the boxing fans are stupid to me, right? They just as dumb as UFC. UFC just loyal to their sport. Yeah. Boxing fans not loyal to their sport. They'll kill their own sport. Like they criticizing Al Heyman, they happy that Showtime leaving. It's like, well, if you remove Al Heyman from boxing, you should be worried about boxing. He's good for fucking boxing. The man, I heard all these historian motherfuckers say, man, we need free fights on TV like we had yesteryear. Al Heyman try to give it to us and they criticize the man when he does it. You can't make this shit up.
But don't listen to that, because all you got to do is look at logic, right? Al Heyman signed his two biggest competitors as far as fighters go in the past year, in Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Crawford. He already had all the other biggest stars in boxing. He has Anthony Joshua. He's got everybody. Not Anthony Joshua. He's got Deontay Wilder. He's got Bob Arum, got a piece of Tyson Fury. But Al Heyman's got everybody big in boxing now. He just signed two more big stars, and one of them to a 10-figure deal. That's not a guy that's going out of business. What he did was, he's such a shrewd businessman. He made it so the fighters are his partners, and him and his fighters are getting the lion's share of the money. That has pissed the networks off, because years ago, it was the promoters. Like Don King or Bob Arum will have a contract with HBO. Them and HBO will be splitting a bigger piece of the pie. It's no longer like that. Al Heyman's handling his business kind of like a Master P or a Birdman. We're independent contractors. We're going to partner with you, and we got the goods, so we're giving you the 15%, and we're keeping 85%. That doesn't make sense to Showtime. We used to be able to make a quick buck off of boxing when we were robbing the fighters blind along with the promoters. Now that Al Heyman has educated them and the fighters are getting all the money, fuck that. We'll just keep getting paid off of movies that we pay for once and sell 20 times. We can't do that with boxing. So Showtime's leaving, not because boxing's not doing well, because they can no longer rob the fight game. But don't think boxing's going anywhere. I don't know if you was on earlier when I said, just think back. When Don King got kicked out of HBO and went to TVKO and was keeping all the money. It's going to be something like that. It's either going to be the Amazon Prime deal, or there's going to be some kind of independent streaming service where Al Heyman's going to be keeping a lion's share of the money. And it's just good business.
Yeah, man. I think that, like I said, boxing fans are just crazy. They should stop caring about promoters, man. Just let the promoters do their job and let it be. Like I see people be saying Team Bob Arum and Team Out. When the fuck do we become fans of fucking promoters, bro? Like if the promoter's doing his job and we getting the fights we getting, just let it be, bro. I feel like Al Heyman's good for boxing. He got too much hate. I mean I can almost guess why he get all the hate that he get. Probably because he's black and he doing the right thing. Because like I said, one of the fighters, Abner Mares, named a son after him, bro. You're not doing, ain't no, bro. If as a promoter, right, your job is to make the most amount of money for you, at least for them. For your employee to name their son after you, you got to be doing something right. Because like shit, how many fucking Bob Arum juniors we got walking out there? And he done been in boxing since fucking civil rights days. So I'm just saying, man got to be doing something right, and he get a ton of hate. And you know what I mean? I think it's just boxing fans are
I,
just crazy, bro. I
I
look
think
at this shit. Go ahead.
go ahead. No, I was just gonna say I think he's the best thing to happen to boxing in the last 30 years. It's just hands down. And if I'm a fighter, right? Beyond the fan, if I'm a fighter, who do I want to be with but a guy that's given out two different 10-figure deals in the last 4 or 5 years? Mayweather made $350 million in a night. Canelo has over a $300 million deal. I want to be with the guy giving those deals out. And what none of them say or that they're mad at, while Al Heyman's giving out multiple $300 million deals, Bob Arum, after 50 years in the game, net worth is less than what Floyd made from Al Heyman in one night.
Yo, they asked Don King one time. It was like during protest of Wall Street and all that shit. And Don King was out there. I'm for the people, doing this fast talking shit. I'm for the
Uh-huh.
people that using every letter in the dictionary like he always do. He flamboyant. And they
With
said,
his
Don King,
Shakespeare and all that, yup.
yeah, they said, Don King, why did you rob Mike Tyson? And he gave some of the most players, realest shit I ever heard. Ali and Mike Tyson, he said, because when they came to me, they was flat broke. And I thought, what a wonderful opportunity to make them a whole lot of money so that I could rob them of it. And I was
Yeah.
like, damn, you know what? He kind of right, bro. Mike Tyson
Look,
was a big deal, bro. But he was even bigger under Don King, bro. He made his biggest purse under Don King.
believe it or not, when I was 2-0, had a fight at Boardwalk Hall, and one of Don King's, not Don King, one of Donald Trump top entertainment guys wanted to work with me. Unfortunately, I allowed my grandfather to control my career. I made my fire department career a little more of a priority, and it didn't work out. But in that, some things transpired, and I got a chance to talk to not Don himself about me, but Don's camp. And somebody talked to me basically to prep me on how Don works. And this, he said, listen, they call him DK. He said, before I even let you get on the phone with DK or bring you out here to meet him, I'm going to tell you how he works, so neither one of us are wasting each other's time. I said, cool, what's up? He said, the way DK works, if you're worth $10,000 and he gets you $10,000, he wants 10%. But if you're worth $10,000 and he gets you $1 million, he wants half. And I said, half of $1 million is more than all of 10,000 all day long. If he gets me more than I'm worth, he can take half all the hell he wants. And see, most guys come with that attitude until they know better and say, hold on, like Tyson did eventually. I'm the one generating all this money. Why is he getting so much type thing? But that's normally how it starts. Like I promote so well, I'm gonna make you way more valuable than you are right now. And you know what I mean? When I do that, I want half the money.
Yeah, so shit, like I said, bro, Bob Arum. I remember Bob Arum and Don King did like a sit down with a documentary. They was talking about the old days and shit. Bob Arum was a mirror image of Don King. He just didn't get all the scrutiny that Don King got, bro. It was just crazy. Bob Arum be
Because
robbing people just like fucking Don did.
well, the difference was Don learned how to rob people in law school, and Don learned how to rob them in the streets, but it's still robbing. You know what I mean? Bob Byrne was a Harvard lawyer, and we know what Don King's background was, and one of them happened to be the complexion for the protection.
Yeah, they don't like to be bugged. They want you to get them to check fraud or some shit. I guess that's what they prefer. They don't. They, I guess Don was too violent for him and too aggressive for him instead of from.
Yeah.
But like I said, you go back and look at them Don King cars that we had in the fucking '90s, bro. Chavez, fucking Tyson, bro. Them cars were fucking action
My
packed.
my stable mates, Lavander Johnson and John Brown, used to be on those undercards, on those Chavez and Tyson undercards. Matter of fact, you're right. Don King's cards were so big, right? My boy Lavander fought Sean Bay Mitchell in the WBC Eliminator, both undefeated for the NABF title, fighting for the WBC Eliminator to fight Miguel Angel Gonzalez. It didn't even make the TV portion of the card.
Damn.
Oh, you know what I mean? It was just one of those things that when the TV portion came on, they just had some letters go across the bottom of the screen. Lavander Johnson earns a shot at the WBC title by knocking out Sean Bay Mitchell. Never even made the card. That's how big the card was.
Then you go back. You go back. This is what I did, bro. I went back and I watched McCullough versus Jackson. That was a cold ass fight, right? And I
How
noticed
about
something.
T.L. Trinidad? All them big fights.
But check this out though. I noticed something, bro. I was looking in the audience. I said, "Damn, them ringside seats is empty than the motherfucker." I just started looking at the arena. I'm like, "That shit is empty, bro." If that would happen today, could you imagine what YouTube would do, bro? All major flight flops. Don King needs to resign as a promoter. Like the headline, I just started seeing the headlines. If it was today, and I was like,
You
"That's
know
the
what you
problem,
seen that
bro."
was empty?
Huh?
You know what you seen that was empty?
Huh?
More than likely there were comp seats in Vegas or an event town, just like the Miami Heat games. They're such big spectacles. People will come. They ain't coming the whole time. They may come late. They're really there just to see who else is there. Like those kind of things happen at really big events, not fights, events. You know what I mean? But I will say, all of Don's fights back then, because I went to quite a few of them, everybody in Hollywood who was somebody was there. From all the rappers to Denzel Washington to everybody who was somebody was there. You know what I mean? They may not have showed up to exactly the main event, but I mean, everybody was somebody always came out for Don.
But that's the point I was making though is the fans. I feel like the fans don't know their place anymore, bro. The fans started overestimating their place in the sport, bro. Where they
You're right.
became lawyers, where they became matchmakers, where they became pay-per-view
They're
experts.
trainers, they're expert fighters. They want to tell fighters how to fight. They want to tell who's a good trainer, who's not, what the trainer should have been saying between rounds. And I said this too on BVO a couple weeks ago. Everybody jumped on me. I said the problem is fighters and trainers should not give a damn what the fans say. Anything beyond I want to see you win or I want to see you lose and I'm buying a ticket, that's the extent of you being a fan. When you start telling a fighter what his strategy should be, who his coach should be, what the coach should be saying, you can't go into a hospital and tell a surgeon how to operate. You're not an expert here. But again, social media has given everybody a voice, and fans think because they paid $89.99, they can tell you got to put your life on the line. And all I say is, your $89.99 doesn't tell me how I go about my business. All you did was pay to see me go about my business, but you can't dictate how I do it.
So I agree with you somewhat. I feel like you got to have you got to at least have one concussion in your lifetime to talk about boxing. I don't know.
I think so too. I think so too. But I mean, I'll say this: anybody can talk about boxing, in my opinion. But if you've never been through those ropes, you can't be an expert. You can't be an analyst. You know what I mean, you're a color commentator or you're a journalist, but you're not a boxing person if you've never been in there. That's just my opinion.
I agree. Ness from the Boxing Boys. I remember he used to call fighters bums, and he finally got in the ring. He said, "I'm never calling a fighter a bum again." He would have never known. Like you could never convince somebody philosophically. They got to experience it to be like, "Oh, this shit is hard." Everything looked easy from the couch. You remember that? I think I could beat Mike Tyson video with Jazzy Jeff.
And Fresh Prince, yeah.
That's what it reminded me. That's what boxing fans, man. He should have zigged and zagged and dipped and whacked. Man, shut the fuck up. You don't know what you talking about, man.
Yeah. I should have went and built a spaceship too while I was at it. You're right.
Yeah, hindsight is always 2020, man. What you to your point, what you said a while ago, what you normally see is like you'll see a trainer get a ton of praise right when they win it. The moment that they lose, oh, that shit like the Titanic, bro. Everybody gotta go.
They said Derrick James need to be fired. They need to take his trainer of the year back. So the fact that he had pretty much two undisputeds at the same time is negated because he got two losses now. Like, huh? It's
And then,
crazy.
and then the same. That's why I say boxing fans are dumb. The same fans that say that will say losses don't matter.
Yep. And I got into it with BVO last time too because I told him he couldn't call Charlo a bum. And I said, listen, if a former fighter calls him a bum, even though I don't like it, I won't address it because they actually are qualified to speak on that. But I told him, I said, you as someone that's never climbed through the ropes, you can't call that man a bum because you don't know what it is. He could have. Anybody else, a layperson, could have employed any kind of survival tactics they want. They would not have went 12 rounds with Canelo Alvarez. I don't give a shit how much they ran. So the fact that he went the distance is somewhat of an accomplishment in itself with the bigger, stronger fighter. Do I think he fought like a warrior? Do I praise his performance? No. But I'm the same. You cannot call a fighter a bum if you ain't never been in there.
I don't know. I agree with BBO on that one.
You can't call him a bum. Sorry,
Yeah,
you can't.
I think I don't think nobody going into that fight thought that he would win the fight. But one thing that he could control is his effort, and he didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't try. It's like so. I was on the. I remember watching the episode, and we were talking about the sweet signs. We were talking about the sweet signs. You know, the hit and not get hit. He never did the hitting part.
Yeah.
That's the only part. Like, look, if he would have went in there and got flatlined, I get it.
I'm going this way. You're going this way. Oh shit. Okay.
She'll walk you ahead.
Yes. All right. So just.
My bad. I'm actually dropping you, Andy.
All right, man.
Yeah, my
I thought
bad.
that was a drop. I thought BBO had hit a drop. I'm like, what the fuck?
Nah, I'm on.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna wrap up because I just got a passenger. But I enjoyed talking to you, man. Stop by my channel sometime, Crown Jewel Boxing. We can chop it up some more.
Wait, we got one more. We got one more. The girl.
But yeah, man, I appreciate you, man. Y'all have a good night.
All right, bro.
All right, bro.
Yeah, BBO, you'll get no argument from me there, bro. Mel stunk that shit up, bro. You there, BBO? Oh shit, maybe he stepped away. But yeah, BBO get no argument from me there. I feel like Mel stunk that shit up, man. I feel like we could see his effort, man, and the man didn't even try. I feel like the man did it. He said the silent part out loud after the fight. He said, at least I didn't get knocked down. It's like, bro, you got to get in there and try, bro. You got two hands. Man is a man just like you. Let your fucking hands go, bro. Like, a lot of people talk shit about Caleb Plant, but one thing you can't say about Caleb Plant is he didn't try like that. He didn't try in that fight. You know what I mean? Caleb Plant got more respect in the fight that he got stretched than Mel got going in that survive. It's a warrior sport. I was watching Paulie Malignaggi talk, and Paulie said similar shit. Like, bro, we signed up for this shit. We know we could. Death is a factor. We get all that shit, but you got to try, bro. You got to fucking try. If you get like, nah, that's unacceptable, bro. And like that's equivalent of somebody going into battle, you know what I mean, back in the day, and then they just drop their shield and they spear and just take off running in the opposite direction, bro. That's like it's looked at as cowardice, especially when you signed up for this shit. You got all eyes on you, man. You got to deliver, bro. So he'll get no corn from me there. You know what I mean? Is what we do on YouTube is no different than what Stephen A. Smith and those guys do on First Take. We criticize, you know, we criticize and we praise. You know what I mean? And shit, he deserved that criticism that day. But I'm gonna go ahead and hop off this live, order me some food, and I'll probably go live on my channel, BB. I don't know where you is, but appreciate you for having me, bro.